Welcome back to the party, everybody. I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. How's everybody doing? Let's party! Big shout out to the replay gang. Thank you so much for coming back to watch this, even though you missed the live party. Guys, make sure you are here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it, and you will never miss an Indian Jesus live party again, except for next week. Big announcement, guys. Big announcement. Next week and next week only. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The show is going to start early. The show is going to start at 6 p.m. only for next week. And then we're going back to the original time. 6 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday next week. And then we are getting into the regular time. Before we begin, let's also say thank you to my6shirt.com. Whatever your persuasion, they've got something for you. And of course, it is the only place to get your very own The Indian Jesus official merch. Only at my6shirt.com. All right. So I can tell you, this is probably the very last thing that I thought I was going to see when I turned on my computer today. But I don't know if I want to dive into it or if I want to tee it up. But a little introduction. We're talking about Anthony Weiner. I didn't even know that guy was still around. I assumed he was still alive. I didn't think he was dead, but no idea. And so he was on the PBD podcast, and we got some clips here that are amazing. They are amazing. And it's funny because I remember I wasn't as political when he was in the limelight, shall we say. And I remember him being pretty level-headed on all of the things except for, all the nasty stuff that he was doing. He was talking to young kids. He was sending dick pics and stuff. And obviously, no bueno. But other than that, when you would listen to him talk about the issues themselves, he seemed like a firebrand type of dude that was, going to tell it like it is, New Yorker, all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, he got in all this trouble and went away. But then I see that he went on PBD, and I'm thinking, all right, maybe he's, making a comeback. Maybe something is going on. And I can tell you, it definitely was not what I was expecting. Shout out to St. Michael of Cigarillo. Welcome to the party. Said Anthony Weiner and Pauly Shore are the same person. That's why you've never seen them in the same place at the same time. You might be right, sir. You might be right. I will never be able to unsee that ever again. All right. So as always, if you cannot hear the video, please do let me know.
What do you think about what RFK's been doing?
He's been getting a lot of attention on podcasts from a lot of middle-aged white guys who are fascinated with him. He's getting pumped up by Republicans who see him as a troublemaker. And he's getting in more and more trouble. The higher, what do they say? The higher the monkey climbs, the more you can see his ass. Every time he turns around, he's getting it in deeper and deeper. And
well, that's a very surprising take on anyone about anything for you, Anthony Weiner. But let's not burn all our Anthony Weiner jokes already. Welcome to the party, unwanted foe. Welcome.
And whatever mission that he had is ending in failure.
So would you say Silicon Valley is Republican or Democrat? Most of Silicon Valley money?
Well, I don't know what his money situation is, and it almost doesn't matter. I mean, look, I did a podcast about him and Christie, two people who were apparently running to help the other party that they claim to be trying to run and help.
Yeah.
So, but it's irrelevant. Every campaign season, we have the same thing, and it's particularly acute now that we are kind of bored with who we have, and so the media loves to pump oxygen into people who probably don't deserve it. And Kennedy, it's just, I mean, look, it's Kennedy, the name Kennedy. You
don't like him? You don't like?
I don't know him. I never met him personally. I mean, I think he's selling books. Pretty clear to me. That's all.
Well, you got a lot of strong negative words for somebody who all you know about him is that he's selling books.
All he's doing.
You think he's selling books? Okay.
I mean, if you use something like the higher a monkey climbs, the more you see his ass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting the vibe you're not a fan. Is that
well?
accurate?
I wouldn't. Look, the guy. He's a conspiracy charlatan. I do a show where I try to take people steps back, and I find that Venn diagram where people who are interested in both sides of the aisle, but they want to have a conversation based on substance and based on facts. He's not doing that.
He's trying to do that. It's Peter Hotez you should be yelling at, because he's the one who's not taking up RFK on the debate.
He's a conspiracy theorist. I don't hold them in high regard.
He's been very substantive with a lot of things he's saying about guns, drugs. A lot of the crypto community is an advocate of him.
Which is ironic for a guy who claims to be an eco-warrior environmentalist. He's changed his tune on that. Look, he's doing one common thread you can find. Whatever's making him money, whatever's getting him attention is what he's doing. So he was an environmentalist. Now cryptocurrency is where he's deriving some of his money. So suddenly he's not so concerned about the environment. It's clear to me that this attention grab around anti-vaxxing is a money grab. You can go there. They're featuring now on Amazon, especially for the election, a new box set of all of his books or whatever it is. It's a money grab.
I thought you didn't know much about him, but seems like you know plenty to call him a grifter.
When I look at why candidates are running, there's usually a couple of things. One, they're running because they really think they're going to win. Another group of people are running because they're running for something else. Like, I think the candidates in South Carolina are probably running for vice president. Then there are candidates who are running for the next time. It seems like DeSantis is probably doing that. And then
hey, shout out to Daniel Cabrera. Welcome to the party. We are here to watch Anthony Weiner squirm. Welcome.
There are people who just want to get their name out there for some vague money-making or prestige or career sense, and that's what I believe RFK is.
So let me read.
That's not an unfair statement, that people will only run for president to get their name out there or to try to start a career or to sell books. That's not that's not untrue. But for that to be the characterization of what RFK is doing is so not in touch with reality that clearly you are so far biased that you're not even able to engage with the topic, with the person as a real person. It's just an enemy in your mind.
This article too. So Silicon Valley money men are buzzing about RFK. This is a Wall Street Journal story. Prominent figures in Silicon Valley such as Jack Dorsey, Chamath, David Sachs are expressing support for RFK's presidential campaign, drawn to his willingness to challenge the status quo. Dorsey recently voiced his backing, stating the more people hear from RFK, the more they agree with our view that he should be part of the debate going forward. Kennedy's engagement with the tech community, including appearances on podcasts and discussions on platforms like Twitter Spaces, has resonated with some tech leaders who values anti-establishment stance. Chamath expressed, I've always been anti-establishment. The idea of tearing down all these institutions of power gives me glee. So to get the attentions of guys in Silicon Valley that don't necessarily consider themselves.
Why do I care about those guys?
Maybe you should.
No, I didn't say I should.
That was sus. That was some lowbrow. Well, I don't even care about that. St. Michael said, RFK is literally American royalty. He doesn't really need to do radical things to get his name out there. Exactly. Like, that's spot on. In fact, everything that he's doing is making it harder for him to be a politician. So, like, what are you talking about, bro? You're literally talking out your wiener. And shout out to Zippy the Strange. Welcome to the party. He was always a dick. That is true. That is fair.
I didn't ask if I should. I said, why should I care? That's the question.
Why should they care about what you say, though?
Fair enough. I'm not asking. I'm not saying that they should.
But this is a podcast, so we're bringing up the story to say when you.
I know, but I'm saying
no, because no. Hang on. I said you said RFK is getting a lot of Republican money. He's not. He's getting Democratic.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you said he's getting a lot of Republican money that are interested in him.
People who are propping him up as a troublemaker.
Yeah, and you said Republicans specifically, but many.
He's getting his Republican
Democrats.
support. That's where his growth of support. He said 4% among Democrats. That's why your theory last week about he's going to be a third party, like you can just invent a party out of whole cloth, and that he's going to be a troublemaker for Democrats.
Is Anthony Weiner not aware of the fact that there's more than two parties? You don't have to make up a party to be the third party when there's 5, 6, 7 different parties. How did I ever think that this guy was smart? So what I'm really going to need from you guys as do you see a marked difference in what we're going to see from Weiner tonight and what we saw from him policy-wise when he was in the fray? Because again, I was not paying that close attention to politics when he was, before he let his dick out. So I have a vague memory, but I don't remember any specifics. I don't know what, like his policies, anything like that. But I don't remember him being like this.
He's the best thing could possibly
So
happen.
you
in a
do
third
follow
party.
the podcast.
I told you when I
okay. So that's good.
I
That's
said
good
I
to
listened
hear.
to the Rubin interview on the plane last night.
Okay, so who do
Gotcha.
you like, Anthony? Who do you like? Which of these guys do you like?
I got to tell you,
Are you
Zibby says Weiner does not know anything at all. He knows how to text minors.
like a diehard Biden guy?
I'm not
you
I think we have something that I call, and this is a trademark, so don't steal it. I call it the backup quarterback syndrome in politics. That we always think the guy who's on the sideline is going to be the better candidate, the better player. And so this time of the cycle, it's who else is out there. It doesn't matter who else is out there. It's going to be Biden and Trump. So, and that choice is crystal clear for me. So who do I want? Who do I think would be better? I don't know. The guy who's in the job is doing a pretty good job at the job. He's wildly unpopular, but then again, so is everybody. Everyone's unpopular now. So, I mean, I'm going to vote for Joe Biden. You're going to vote for Donald Trump, and we're off to the races. But I don't think it matters. I mean, I listen to these guys. None of them seem particularly interesting to me because they're not terribly interested in doing anything to depart from the orthodoxy of their candidate.
Yeah, that's also, about third party. Like we know that what's his name? Cornel West, is that his name? The dude down here. He's running third party now. So, bro, it's not even like there's not anyone running in those parties. But he just sounds so much, perfectly said, Zippy. Armchair politics. He just has this air of, oh, well, I'm so much above this. Forget that I could have actually been a real politician, maybe even a presidential candidate, had I not been a pervert. But I'm just better than all of this. What? You want me to care about a Kennedy? What? Why would I care about a Kennedy? West is a total joke. I mean, he definitely has the opportunity to sway people. If he can get on a stage with other people, then he will absolutely have a big impact on that conversation. Do I think, he has anything of substance? No, but, the conversation is definitely important. Zippy says Biden is brain dead. Trump is hard to control. Next. Yeah. All politicians are fake. Exactly.
I mean, I don't know if that's on the screen, but Cornel West is who I'm doing my show about this Saturday. I mean,
so you're aware of third parties.
That's a problem. A Green Party candidate cost Hillary Clinton the election in 2016, and Cornel West could conceivably do that again. But as far as
Jill Stein,
I'm a Green Party candidate.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yes, Jill Stein. But he's a much better known figure than Jill Stein, and he's a better attention getter, and I think he's a better speaker. So he's
the potential to be the Perot effect, a viable candidate that gets just enough for that, because elections come down to the 9 points in the middle. So you have a third
I would
party.
agree with that, but Perot's an open question. I think historically you can look. It's a weird dynamic. Traditionally speaking, a third party would harm the incumbent, right? That's the common sense view of it. But in that case, it was a very weird dynamic what was going on, because Clinton was doing a change election, and Perot was the changiest freaking thing out. Am I allowed to curse on the show?
Go for it, Anthony.
The changiest freaking thing out there was Ross Perot.
He asked if he could curse and then says frickin'. Zippy said Hillary cost her the election. Facts. Since Trump was seen more as a liberal. Yeah, she was a neocon. She was part of the establishment, and he was not.
So I know there's been a lot of talk that Perot cost Bush the election. I know Bush thought that, but I'm not sure the math holds up on that. But in terms of Cornel West, it's clear every single one of a lefty green, candidate, African American, who talks about, the Democratic Party not doing enough for African Americans. That's 2 points in Wisconsin right there, right? Well, 2 points, probably high, but 1.5 points in Wisconsin, where the margin last time was only 1.5 points. So,
Aaron, question.
So why isn't the point that I don't care who else is running. I'm so much better that I'm going to win. Doesn't strike a lot of confidence in your boy Biden if you're talking about who is going to be taking votes away from him. St. Michael says he does make a decent point about West stealing votes from Biden if he's running third party. Yeah, but that just highlights how bad of a candidate Biden really is. Daniel says Ross Perot forgot about that goblin shark. I don't really know what that means, but hopefully you guys do, and you can explain it to me in the comments below. St. Michael said melanated votes and far left votes will go to West. At least a good bit of them.
Bingo.
Yep.
Question for you in regards to campaigning mayor, which is a city, then you have the state versus you got nation like DeSantis, Congress, governor.
Yeah.
How different is it campaigning, city, Congress, district versus governor versus president?
Well, mayor of New York City is a whole different creature, right? I mean, you're campaigning for mayor of the city of New York. You're attracting national attention because first, it's an off-year election. It's not held at the same time, so it's a really barren time on the political calendar. But in essence, it's the same thing. It is thrust and parry around issues, what people care about, identifying what it is you're trying to say in a very short, concise thing. The stuff I found, and again, you've taken a run at me for not watching the show when you're out, but the stuff you do around marketing is interesting to me. One of the reasons I wanted to come here is kind of see the marketing side of this. So there is a marketing and a notion of like figuring out what works and what doesn't. But
see, even when he's saying that, like, oh, you got a nice little operation going on here. I just wanted to come and check it out. As if this is not the only time that most people are going to remember that you exist in the last, 5 years? Come on. Like, can I just get 3 more likes, guys? 3 more? Thank you, thank you, thank you.
But in a broad sense, presidential candidates are very different things than anything else in politics because you're running this weird bifurcated campaign of a national campaign and this weird state-by-state thing where you can be campaigning in Iowa talking about completely different issues than you're talking about when you go to New Hampshire or South Carolina. That doesn't happen. I mean, to some degree, you go upstate in New York or Tallahassee compared to Miami. You get a little bit of that when you run as a governor, but you really get it as that's why I think states like New York, Florida, California, a governor who says, look, I know from dealing with different communities, I know it's different geographies, different economic imperatives, that makes me ready to be president, which is why Americans choose governors so often to be president.
That is that's a decent point as well. Zippy says, if stealing a few votes makes you lose, you were never meant to be to start with. Totally agree. Totally agree. I think the if you are going to, if the margins are that thin, then either we have a good race and the best man will win, or we don't have a close race and you weren't going to win anyway. Shout out to Ian Undercover. Welcome to the party. Said eating chat and my favorite Indian content creator. Oh, thank you. Welcome to the party. St. Michael said, look into Bill de Blasio's parents and why he changed his last name. I'm gonna leave that to you guys.
You said earlier, we were talking about RFK. You're like, well, it's just a money grab. He's trying to get money. He's trying to sell books. He's trying to do this. Did you read his Fauci book or no?
Oh God, no.
Oh God, no. Why? Oh God,
yeah.
no. Why? Oh God, no. Why wouldn't you just say, oh no, I haven't gotten a chance to read it?
Book? No, I don't read.
Why not?
I don't. It's much easier just to read other people who debunk crazy conspiracy theories. I don't have to read.
It's much easier to just listen to people who already tell me what I want to hear. How? Again, is this who Anthony Weiner has always been? Because I felt like I remember like Firebrand. I thought that was this guy. Like, knew what was going on. Snappy answers for everything. I mean, I think the last time I remember seeing him was when he was on Bill Maher's Real Time years ago, and he was still that guy. Am I just misremembering, or is something going on? Zippy said, it's rigged anyway. Lesser evil always wins. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but you sure can.
Read the conspiracy theory.
So what was conspiracy theory about?
I'm not gonna. If your listeners want to go and do their own research on it, I'm not gonna sit here and be.
It's not my job to educate you.
Fauci versus Kennedy on a conspiracy. I mean, I just don't have any interest in that.
In doing what? In doing the conspiracy?
In being one side of a conspiracy theorist, like
in determining what the truth is in one of the biggest scandals possibly in human history. Maybe not human history, but it's pretty up there. Daniel says, I like my vacuum chamber more than I like to have my beliefs questioned. Bingo. Yep. Zippy said, aren't half of those that debunk just as crazy as the conspiracy theorists? He wouldn't know anyway because he doesn't read.
Debunking a conspiracy theorist, you can get other people on for that. You get all kinds of people who are real experts in this stuff to do that. I'm not interested.
So what's your show about?
So the thesis is it's a very conservative radio station. You guys have a pretty conservative audience here, I surmise.
Probably center right. I would.
Has a conservative. Okay.
It's a very, very capitalist, entrepreneurial, free thinkers.
Pretty conservative. I love this.
Even that again. What is happening? Where does Anthony Weiner get the audacity to act like he is not the bottom barrel bitch in this room right now? He asked, "Oh, you guys have a conservative show here, right?" And then Adam tries to, well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if you call it conservative, but definitely, maybe right leaning, but certainly capitalist. So conservative then.
My boss, the owner of my station, says we're center right. I'm like, boss, I'm the only thing that's not hard right on the entire station, so we're not center right. We're pretty right, but I believe in the idea. I represent a fairly conservative district by the standards of New York. Archie Bunker's house was in my district.
That's in what city, by the way?
New York City.
In New York City, that was your district. What area?
Oh, the outer boroughs of Queens and Brooklyn, working class areas, not the fancy high rises, the places where, like, as I mentioned, Archie Bunker from you're gonna remember.
Good time. All in the Family.
All in the Family.
Yeah.
Oh man, of the people.
Very conservative places. I lost 80-20, for example. When I left Congress, when I told
you lost 80-20, why were you even running there?
Nancy Pelosi, you want me out? I want to warn you, this is going to be a Republican seat when I leave. It was. So, and I prosecuted that job with the argument being that we all have our partisanship, even more so now than when I was in office.
I should have put the Clinton kill list video first. Definitely should have done that.
But I think there's a healthy group of people in the Venn diagram of Democrat and Republican who don't want one hand clapping, who want to hear what the other side has to say, who want to engage in some kind of a conversation about it.
But not you, right? Because why would you waste time reading what RFK has to say
about it? It doesn't seem that way in American media today. I will admit that most of the money is on one side or the other, one silo or the other. I am trying out the theory that if I try to be a Democrat, a well-known, famous, fired up, green, whatever.
Establishment type of a Democrat, like.
Well, you say establishment. I did run against the establishment every time I ran.
You are pretty establishment, buddy. Nobody gets. I mean, you're as establishment as it gets.
Well, I don't know. When I was in Congress, I was causing all kinds of headaches for my party because I was advocating for left on healthcare. I was advocating right on Israel and law enforcement. You can put establishment. All I know is from establishment is most establishments in my district in New York City and in Washington didn't like me and were happy when I was out. So that's all I can say about the establishment. But
that doesn't mean that you're anti-establishment. That just means that there's other people who didn't like you. That's it.
But let me just finish my thought about what
real quick with the establishment. I mean, you're very closely linked with the Clintons, whether you're Bush, Clinton. That's as establishment as it gets. Is that not fair?
I guess I was married to the deputy chief staff at the State Department. But remember something, Bill Clinton was not an establishment guy when he started. Right. He ran against the establishment when a lot of people thought it wasn't a smart time to run in 92, et cetera.
Yeah. I mean, what's her name? The wife, Uma Thurman. That's not Uma Thurman. I know. But she's like Hillary Clinton's best friend. Like, what are you talking about? You are the establishment. Daniel said, what is the sound of one hand clapping? This man's tongue wiggling in his mouth. Oh, no. Oh, no.
But all of that being said,
But then he became the establishment.
well, when you become the president, you become the establishment. Donald Trump is like the outside guy. He's the president. The guy he's now the very definition.
Far from establishment. He was not establishment.
But once you're
Kennedy
saying,
wasn't establishment.
I know, but I'm just responding to the idea that people run.
You're just dancing around using semantic obfuscation as to what establishment means. That yes, technically you can't be part of the or you can't be outside of the establishment if you are the president. But when we talk about people that are of the establishment, it's more of a mentality and a behavioral thing, not technically you're in that bullshit.
On when they're not the establishment, but once you become the institution of the presidency, you become the establishment.
Define establishment. What is establishment?
There you go. There you go. Always define your terms.
Well, wait, maybe we should both do it since it was in your question. But I guess establishment is the organizations and institutions of politics and whether they like you or don't like you. Okay? Whether you pose a threat to them or not a threat to them. I can only assume, given their eagerness to get rid of me, and I can attest to this.
Yeah, I'm sure it has nothing to do with your personality or the personal entanglements that you got into. Unwanted post. So this guy's even more slimy than I remember him. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, I remember him being, this slimy New York guy, but he sounded like he had it together, and now he just is like treading water. He doesn't even seem like he belongs on this stage. Zippy says, if you vote with the party more than 50% of the time, you're establishment. Is that true? If you vote with the party more than 50% of the time, you're establishment. I don't know about that. But that's kind of what I mean. It's that it's not necessarily, when we get down to actually casting a vote specifically in a general election, then, the person you're voting for, it comes with a lot of other ancillary things. And by that time, everything is boiled down to this or that, which is where, people get into the lesser of two evils. But if you're really in the weeds on stuff and you're taking the side of, I'm trying to not use the word establishment. If you're going to take the side of, what the overwhelming, pervasive narrative is, that is what we mean when we say establishment. I don't necessarily know if I would say it's strictly on voting habits though. But essentially, yeah, if you're towing the line, then that's what we mean when we're talking about establishment. Does Trump talk his way around arguments like this, or does he ignore things? I'm just getting some Trump flashbacks from this. I don't think he walks around arguments like that. I think he takes them head on. No, I'm not getting Trump vibes from him from Weiner here. But I don't know. Okay, I wasn't thinking that, but I'm gonna think about that now.
That I don't consider myself a side, but I also don't consider it such a pejorative. If by establishment you mean someone who, like you used it, that got elected president, that got elected Congress a whole bunch of times when there's a middle-class kid who, like, with the name Anthony Weiner. Okay, yes, I was a member of the United States House of Representatives, a job that is in the Constitution of the United States. That is, by definition, the establishment.
What has happened last few years?
Yeah, any film is saying, I said hello to you. Hello, welcome to the party. Any film is saying, I think Trump always takes everything head on, even if he doesn't have to. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Where he would like directly, before he was banned off Twitter, he would go and just directly respond to people. The famous line of Megyn Kelly saying, "You have a history of calling women pigs." No, just Rosie O'Donnell. That was an awesome moment. Maybe it trumps humor. I'm conflating. Odd breaks in the discussion are distracting to me. Well, then stop posting them.
it's a little weird that you say I don't want to talk about it. Rob, can you pull up the article that just came out? Paragraph 19, New York Times, on the amount of COVID deaths that they reported.
He knows the
this word that the CIA came up with called conspiracy theory that a lot of people like to throw around. Hey, this is a conspiracy and that. Well, the history of it goes back, but CIA was one of the ones that really took it to a whole different level. If you read this article here, go to the part where it's, okay, the far left New York Times.
Who are you reading from?
Come on.
This is
the New York Times.
No, it's the Breitbart.
Well, we can go to the New York Times article if you want to. So the far left New York Times quietly.
Notice how before anything is even said, Weiner's already on the defensive. Whoa, who said that? Where are you getting this information from? Why don't you just chill and see what it is first, and then be a loser?
Admits this week that deaths from coronavirus were overcounted by 30%.
No. What? There was an overcounting in COVID deaths? You've got to be kidding me.
Another right-wing conspiracy theory is proven true. And by the way, can you go to the paragraph where it's actually written the way it is? It's on a different article, I think, that Valuetainment launched.
Yeah, because Daniel's saying, well, because if I can discredit Breitbart, then I don't have to look at the argument at all. These, I mean, going back to what Unwanted Poe said, you can't get more slimy than this guy is. I'm thinking about the comparison to Trump, but even though Trump is not a nice person who is, friendly and to his opponents, like he's not like that slime. Even when I was a never Trumper, I didn't get that feeling of like actually being dirty just by listening to him. And I'm not even factoring in his dick pic underage stuff. I'm just basing it on how he's acting right now.
Go to exaggeration.
The headline was a positive COVID milestone.
Search the word exaggeration if you can. There you go. The official number. Okay, so COVID totals, to be clear, has not fallen to zero. That over 80%. The official number is probably an exaggeration because it includes some people who had virus when they died, even though it was not underlying. It was not the underlying cause of death.
Like my father.
Other CDC data suggests, sorry for your loss, suggests that almost 1/3.
Like my father, as if that's some like. Why did you need to interject that there? For sympathy points because you need anything that you can get. I mean, come on. So we said, no, the way Weiner is dodging things, it's disrupting the flow of the overall conversation. Facts. Trump does it to a degree with his humor. It's a rhythm. I see odd things. Fair enough.
Of official recent COVID deaths have fallen into this category. That is a big number. So when we're sitting around every day, we're watching the news and everybody is panicking. People's lives are being stopped. Kids are not going to school.
People are dying. A million people are dying.
Yeah, 1 million people are dying. But you're saying to do what? Stop everything? You're saying to force everybody to take the vaccine?
I'm just saying you were.
Let's keep in mind as they get into this that we are not in 2020. We are not in 2021, nor are we in 2022. We are now in 2023. The lockdown was ended, what, a year and a half ago, a year ago? All of the conspiracies have been confirmed true for a long time. And this is still how he's going to address this.
You were taking that as a way to minimize and I am taking the other position that I don't think you minimize 1 million people.
I don't think anybody minimized it. I think
that language sound pretty minimizing.
Well, it's not minimizing when you're just stating facts. In fact, it's definitely minimizing. We want to minimize the fake numbers of COVID deaths. Yes, right now it's at, let's just say it's at 100,000. If it's supposed to only be 25,000, then yes, we would like to minimize that. If you want to get technical.
Do you see the part about 1/3? Is that a conspiracy theory?
No,
what do you say to this?
I think this is a pretty reliable. So the 1/3 is a hyperlink. We can probably go look and see what that is. That sounds like it makes a lot of sense to me.
Oh, now it does. So this is why America's...
What difference? What point are you making here, my brother?
What point are we making that 1/3 of the deaths were inaccurate? 1/3 of the deaths for a virus that flipped our not just our economy, our entire culture upside down. We'll have untold side effects for years and years and years to come. What's the difference? I mean, is the Pence Weiner ticket coming up? One guy doesn't care about America. The other guy doesn't care about Rona.
Oh, you were about to say, what difference does it make? A legendary quote used by somebody else in the past.
No, what difference does it make to your point? You're saying this is not this is a conspiracy
theory?
But
no, you're saying, when I said, have you read the book? I said, why would you read the book? That's all conspiracy theory.
No, he didn't say this. He had conspiracy theories.
If you
about
haven't read it, how
vaccine
would you know what he said about it?
Because I explained this earlier to your question. I read the reviews of the book and the debunkings.
Oh, so you read the reviews. Got it. So kind of like if I'm in office and I have to go through a certain new legislation is coming up, I just wait to see what New York Times writes about instead of me writing.
A lot of people tune into your program to find out about other things in the news and get a perspective on it to draw conclusions because they trust you. Isn't that true?
Right.
Yes, but if you are only going to the PBD podcast to get your news, you're fucking up. What point are you making, dude? Any Felon says, how about the point is that the government and the hospital systems were faking death numbers? Yeah, like, that's the whole thing. What do you mean? What difference does it make? I can't even grapple with what you're even trying to say there. Unwanted Fellow said, we need the accurate information in order to find the best solution in the future, rather than respond in a recklessly emotional manner again, like we did in COVID.
Bingo.
What difference does it make?
So I have sources that I trust. This is not such a novel idea.
But I would read the other side's book.
You would read every book on both sides of every one.
If it's one of the biggest crises we experience over a 3-year period, yes. If I have to
anyone
read
within the sound of my
9/11,
voice can read what bullshit that guy is spewing. But
how do you know it's bullshit if you're not listening?
I'm not going to have you want to have already been COVID. By the way, you're making the DeSantis mistake now.
Any guy, say that
What's
again.
The
any guy.
mistake?
The DeSantis mistake is it's the Churchill effect, of believing that what was.
Yeah, you would never want to be Winston Churchill if you're a politician, right? Like, please, if I am ever remembered like Winston Churchill, says every politician, I am failed.
What? The giant issue 2 years ago that animates people is still a giant issue that animates them today.
That's the problem with the establishment.
Why, you think DeSantis is still making that an issue?
No, I think DeSantis is running a campaign based on things that are no longer that salient.
Well, that's the reason that he's running.
It's not no longer salient. The past of somebody in a job interview is very important. So what you've been doing in the past 3 years, specifically these past 3 years, when you're applying to be our president, is very relevant. How can you not see that? Hey, shout out to Ayush. Welcome back to the party. Good to see ya. Said, see, friends, that's what bias looks like. Exactly. Well said. Welcome to the party, brother. Good to see ya. Zippy says, kill more people via bad rules and policy. Yay! I mean, hey, he's from New York, so you never know.
Relevant. That's kind of like the whole reason that he's on the forefront of the campaign.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me, how do you define forefront? He's getting crushed.
Notice that pivot. Adam just said, well, it's very relevant because he's at the forefront of whatever the conversation, this, that, forefront. Well, he's getting crushed. That's neither here nor there. We're saying that it is relevant for us to know that a third of COVID deaths were inflated. And now you're talking about who's winning in the race? Come on, guy.
He's in second place right now.
He's trailing by 40 points.
You're right.
Come on,
but
Adam's biting on it.
I'm explaining. First of all, I'm changing the subject, but I'm also explaining. I'm explaining the phenomenon that he experienced with Rudy Giuliani, the Winston Churchill fate, that you can be amazingly good in your mind and for your voters' mind in a certain issue, but once that issue recedes, the salience of that and the importance of that issue recedes as well. That's the mistake.
Nope. No. Because the issue is not what we are specifically going to do in a pandemic lockdown, while that is not an issue. The issue is, are you going to be truthful? Are you going to stand up to the establishment and do what you believe is right for your constituents? Hey, shout out to BB Yup. Welcome to the party. Said this was pretty amazing. I thought so. I was not expecting to see this when I woke up. It says, goes on to say, someone doth protest too much seems to be a relevant saying.
Bingo.
I agree. Welcome to the party. Zippy says, government, do more harm is the creed of New York. Pretty much.
That DeSantis is making.
And by the way, with all due respect, this is why people don't like you and trust you. This is why America doesn't trust the establishment. And the one thing I want
Am I going to be the harbinger of the establishment in this conversation?
No, you're part
Yes.
of it, because the American people, okay, people who follow the guidelines, not the people that didn't follow the guidelines, the people that took the COVID vaccine, the people that followed the non-essential, the people that didn't go to work, the people that kept their kids from going to school, and they said, the experts are telling me this.
Yeah.
You dramatically changed my life, and now you're saying, what difference does it make?
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah,
No.
Exactly. There is a system in place. Society runs. We live in a society. Society runs. Civilization runs on the trust in our institutions. When that trust is lost, all goes to hell. And when you, the establishment, say XYZ, when really it's ABC, then the trust in that institution is gone. That is the difference. A country where people have trust in their institutions and that the government is doing the right thing, that the doctors are saying the right thing, versus a society where nobody trusts anything. And if you can't see that, what are you doing? What are you even doing?
No.
That's
I
the
said, what
exact
difference
pattern
is that? That is
of who cares that's behind us. So
First,
DeSantis, don't talk about it.
We have some time here, so let's go back for a moment. You were pointing to a reference in there and talking about a conspiracy theory, and when it was reduced less than a third.
No, you called it a conspiracy theory. I did not. You're claiming
fine.
it's a conspiracy theory of a
you
book
were
you've not
debunking
read
it
yet.
by going to a clip and you pointing to
From
the one
New
third.
York Times,
And
yes.
I said, what difference does it make to the argument you were making? I didn't understand the
No,
argument
because
you
you
were
said
making.
it's been 2 or 3 years. People don't care anymore. That's what you're trying to say.
I was making you're giving me whiplash. No, I was making an argument of why DeSantis is struggling in the polls in an effort to change the subject, quite frankly. Struggling in the
Hey, at least he's honest about that part.
Slick
polls.
move.
Thank you. Struggling in the polls is because he is pursuing this line
And not
of
at
rhetoric.
all. I think that's the furthest reason why he's not doing well in the polls.
Okay, successfully changed the subject. All right, why do you think?
Why he's not succeeding in the polls?
Yeah.
Okay, successfully changed the subject. What a loser. Like, beyond a policy and like, what a loser. You must be so fun at parties. I mean, yeah, right. Weird. Just, weirdly honest. Yeah, I mean, weirdly honest and weird in general. And that's why he's such an enigma, is that you don't see this. You don't see this. Yeah, I agree. It seems like this is actually what he believes. But the important part is in the fact that not that he is or is not lying or being truthful, but the fact that, like, where does his brain go to even say things that are so out there? Like, how did you arrive at that conclusion, whether you believe it or not? That line of logic is mind-blowing. Hey, shout out to Xander Crew. Welcome to the party. Said, isn't this the dude with the infamous laptop? Yeah. So I don't want to be too forthcoming, but yes, he used. I don't know if it was an infamous laptop. That was like in the same case as Hunter Biden. But yes, he was sending dick pics to people who didn't want them. He was texting underage kids. He got caught. He went through a whole thing. He did an apology tour. He, did all of that stuff with his wife standing by him. And then he got caught again. So yes, that is him.
I mean, I heard your theory last week.
Let me put it to you this way. When Rob...
The life insurance folder is what I want to know more about. Yeah, for real. The original. Yeah, Hunter's 2.0. Anthony Weiner is the original laptop. Xander said an apology tour. Well, I mean, to be honest, he deserved to need that apology tour. Yeah. Hunter's is 2.0. He was the original.
When Rob said, Anthony Weiner, for example, on the show here, Saturday we'll have Chris Cuomo here, okay, on the podcast. He's flying in just
Chris Cuomo
to do the podcast, and he flies back.
Me too.
We've had
Me too.
Tonight will be Dave Smith. Tomorrow's Ice Cube. We've interviewed people from left, right, center, everybody.
What are some examples of left?
Kyle Kulinski, Sam Cedar,
David Pacman,
and Andrew Yang.
Cenk is coming back. Andrew Yang, David I can give you a bunch of names.
Who's David Pacman?
You should look him up. You should start doing a little research. I don't think you read enough.
I should.
But the part I would say to you is the following.
Uh-oh.
The reason, this is exactly the reason why people have a hard time believing what guys like you are saying.
So if you like this clip and you want,
So I specifically, I wish I would have jumped in with this, that video, the last one first, because that was a little slow, but you know me, I like to give a little bit of context so that you can see how even when they were having, decently civil conversation, he was still acting all weird. He was still squirming in his seat. We've only just begun. I got 2 more clips for you. Here we go.
Anthony, you say I'm left, but I'm not far left, right? There's certain.
Let me really quick. Zippy said, I have a friend who's a white power type like Weiner. Is he a white power type? I don't think so. It's all narcissistic self-righteousness. Can't be wrong. My tinfoil hat proves otherwise. Yeah, I don't think he is a white power guy, but just using circular arguments, all racists use. Yeah. Yup.
Things you don't agree with everything on the left. So here's a question for you. They send me these pictures that 10-year-old kids can now learn in school. Here's a sex book. If you go a little lower, teaching boys how to give boys a blowjob. If you go a little lower, right there, how to give another boy a blowjob. Keep going lower.
Come here.
Do you think it's appropriate for 10-year-old kids to have to read material like this in schools?
So before we let him answer, we all know very, 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 very well what genderqueer is. You can't possibly defend this as an establishment guy that he is. You can be a far leftist, you can be a progressive, whatever, and defend this. But you can't be an establishment, Democrat and be trying to defend this. So usually what they do is either say, I didn't know this was happening, or it's just one book, or something along those lines to minimize, to use his word, minimize the issue and act like it isn't an issue at all. Do you think that he's going, like, which avenue do you think he's going to take? Do you think he's actually going to say, no, you know what? You're right. I'm right there with you. This is too far. We can't have this stuff. Or do you think, number 2, he's going to act like it is fine? Or 3, do you think he's going to say, oh, it's just one book, it's just one teacher, it's just one this, that's not really happening? What do you think? Xander said, this type of ish drives me insane, as it should. This is horrifying. I can't imagine any sane adult saying kids should see those images. I haven't seen a sane one. I've seen adults, not a sane one. There's just no way, unless you're a PDF file or have been so severely desensitized to sex and child abuse. And all right, we Unwanted Foe said just one book. Xander agrees. Ayush is gonna go the let's not talk about it route. I says he's gonna go the let's not talk about it route. That's another one that I didn't think of, but Anthony Weiner would definitely be able to pull off. And Zippy says he's gonna go, that's not really happening. All right, let's see it.
I don't know anything about this book.
Just logic. I mean, let's just say
if I'm going to assume all of
Yeah.
these facts and
Let's
evidence,
say they are.
If I'm no,
There's nothing to assume. You just saw the pictures. The only assumption there is that whether or not this was actually in a school ever at all. Because that in and of itself, if it was found in one school, in one classroom, that is an issue. Is it a national issue that we need to be spending all this time on? No, I'm probably not. Of course, that's not the case. But this specific instance should be enough to talk about it. And the fact that you don't know about it, which I find hard to believe, but also not.
I would not be crazy about my son reading any of that because he's that age.
Well, listen, I
Okay,
appreciate you
all
for
right.
being straight up with that, because that's exactly what's going on in the state of California. So, and Newsom came out with a video, and he said, I can't even send you the clip on the video. It's like, we are not going to let them ban these books, and they're doing what happened in these different
So let's
things.
take a step back here.
I was just saying, you guys are trapping me. I don't want to play this game. I'm looking bad. Can we please move on to mommy? That's pretty much his tactics here. That's pretty much his tactic. And ironically enough, he's being straight up about it. He's like, well, this isn't working out for me, so I'm trying to change the conversation. Then he successfully changes the conversation. All right, conversation changed. You're weird, bro. You're weird. Very weird.
Let's take a step back. We're a big country, a lot of teachers, a lot of school districts. We in this country, in our form of government, we ostentatiously keep education decisions close to home. That the education budget is like 4% in the federal government. The budget is tiny because the things that we're going to do, these determinations we're going to make about schools, we understand as a society, we want them made closer to home because they should reflect the values of their community.
Okay, great. So what do you think about genderqueer? Hi, Morty. No, I know. You got to go lay down.
Not every community and every book and every school board and every library is going to do it exactly the way you and I would. But the $64,000 question, or the 30,000 foot, whatever metaphor you want to use, is we can use these things to try to like poke at this idea that the world's on fire and everything is destroyed and everything's wrong. Or we can
Spit
say,
it out,
listen,
bro.
that classroom has a group of parents that can go to the principal and go to a school board. The last thing I want is someone like Ron DeSantis saying that I am going to decide. Or in Tallahassee, that's what the capital is of the state?
Yes.
Or in Tallahassee, we are going to decide what books parents or kids or teachers are going to teach.
Sir, are you familiar with a word called curriculum? Because that's what a curriculum is. Specifically, the government telling your kids what they have to learn. Hey, shout out to Unwanted Foe. Look, come here. Look. Let's see. You got to come on this side. Look, come here. Come on. Yay. Thank you so much. Oh, my goodness. You guys. Thank you so much. Xander Crew with the $10 super chat said, sending good vibes to you and the dog. Let's get him hooked up. Come here. Can we see it? Oh, let me pull this down, and here we there we go. Yay! Oh my goodness! And another one from Cerebrus 09. No question, no comment, just pure love of the game. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Thank you, guys. I very much appreciate that. And you know, Morty does as well. Cerebrus, welcome to the party. Thank you very much. And of course, Xander, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
I don't believe politicians are that smart. I don't believe their values are so much better than the parents in my district are. And I think that the hardest thing for a politician to do is say, you know what? I'm not the best person to make this decision. The best person to make this decision, these people. And you know what? People are going to make mistakes. They're going to get things wrong. Do I want my son reading that book? No, but.
So, well, all the parents that are going to all these meetings saying they don't want it, that's what we should listen to, right?
I don't know what we get at when we're trying to we're trying to make this suggestion that we're going to change this, you're talking about a state.
Shout out again to all three of you. Thank you so much. Do you miss anything? Yeah, as if we obviously P-Hub content is already banned in school. Shout out to Mike W. Welcome to the party. Said, okay, put the Bible and the Quran in public schools then. No, thank you. I am perfectly fine with getting rid of all of those. You can get them on Amazon. If you want to show it to your kids at home, do your worst. But in schools, that is a government establishment building. None of that. None of this and none of that belongs in our schools. And of course, another non-answer. Yep. That's what we're gonna get.
State that is 3,000 miles
Yeah.
away, and you're trying to draw some conclusion about some horrible book.
It's not. It's
excerpt.
not in one school. It's in
But parents
a
aren't-
state.
Yep.
Anthony, you're
state.
very well spoken, and you're very
appreciate
sharp
that.
on a lot of things.
Thank you.
And no, you are.
I appreciate
it. You've spent a good part of your adult life in debate. You're very, very, very good at it. But what you just said, I don't even think you believe. Parents don't really have the ability. You look all over the United States. You have parents trying to go to school boards so they could do this local, as you brought up.
Exactly.
They don't have the ability to do that.
Yeah, they're called terrorists. They go in and they try to express what they want in a reasonable manner. They try to just, hey, look, here's a book that you gave to my child. And they won't even let them read the book amongst adults. And that's still not enough for them to say, oh, maybe this is not the kind of thing that should be in front of children.
They have the ability to appear, but they're not being heard. The argument is being
that's the
truncated.
statement. What's the evidence, my friend?
The evidence? What? How many school board meetings do you want to pick?
Exactly.
Where parents come up and say, I don't want my kids to read this book. I don't want my kids to see this.
You're going to have parents showing up, and other parents are going to say different things. This is an imperfect thing. You get your...
Again, with a non-answer. That doesn't mean anything. There's not a bunch of parents coming up to do all this stuff because most of the people who read stuff like that and want it in the schools don't have kids. They don't have kids. They have yours. Mike said, conservatives don't want to ban books. They want to limit the books to appropriate ages. Bingo! Yeah, nobody's saying that genderqueer, this book is gay, the gay BCs, the bluest eye, D's big nuts, all of these books should absolutely be available at Barnes & Noble and Amazon and anywhere else. Just not in the schools. Just not in the schools. I mean, it's that simple. Ayush says, poor guy doesn't get sarcasm. He says, thank you to your very sharp comment. Well, I mean, to be fair, I do think he was being sarcastic back, but either way, it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. Xander said, he basically said, if someone wants to abuse their child, says Anthony Weiner, so be it. Yup. That's their position. That's their position. If someone wants to abuse your child, so be it.
Your say in this country, you don't get your way, and we certainly shouldn't have a say on California books happening about 3,000 miles away. And why are we animated around these things? Because we're animated
why do you care? Why do you care so much?
Around the idea that media relies on conflict. For those of you listening, I'm banging my fists together. Conflict, we love it. So we show something like this and get people all upset. Oh my God, the world is ending.
That some parents are animated about the concept of age-appropriate education.
Everyone is. No parent is standing up saying, I'm standing up in favor of inappropriate. Look,
actually, they are. Most of them are not because they don't have kids. But the ones who do absolutely are standing up and saying, we need to show kids kink. You need to do some homework, bro. You need to do your homework. Daniel says, is the Gay BCs a real book? My computer's been annoying me, but the Gay BCs. Let's look. It's got a...
Hi, my name is Kimia, and I work for Evolve Early Learning in West Asheville, North Carolina. We are a preschool, and this is one of my favorite books that I wanted to share with you today. It's called The Gay BCs. And
shout out to Parker Schultz. Thank you for the concept.
it is by M.L. Webb. A is for arrow and ace. Words we use to say that love and attraction may be felt in many ways. B is for bi. You can shout it out loud. I like more than one gender, and that makes me proud. C is for coming out. You're ready to share what you feel deep inside. It's okay to be scared. D is for drag. Haram! You can strut and dance in clothes that you love, dresses, heels, or pants.
We'll just go a couple other letters. I'm not going to go through the whole thing.
E is for equality.
Equality.
On the same team, we all have the right to love, hope, and dream. F is for family. Related or found, they'll stick by your side through your ups and downs.
I just want to get to G and see if it's gay.
G is for gay.
Gay!
Just for
Obviously, it's gonna be G for gay. But yes, that is a real book. That is a real book. Being that you can find in school libraries, all that stuff. It's not. Oh, what did I just do? Oh, I was like, sorry, I got confused there for a moment. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Xander Cruz said, which is, oh yeah, going back to, if someone wants to abuse your child, the leftists say so be it, which is already a faulty position because we've come together as a society and country to say no, parents can't abuse their child, and if they do, they get taken away. Absolutely. Yush says, this is specifically for YouTube Kids. So I don't, that video is not marked under YouTube Kids, but the book absolutely clearly is a children's book. Xander said, I'm so grateful I am not a parent. That, not ABC, GayBC. Made my blood boil. G should be for grotesque. I agree. He says, E is for equity. One of us. All equal in impoverished slavery. But yeah, I mean, that's what we're talking about. That this is a real thing.
Of age-appropriate education.
Everyone is. No parent is standing up saying, I'm standing up in favor of inappropriate. Look, teaching.
Of course they are.
Teaching.
Of course they
I
are.
know,
Yes,
because
they are.
it's necessary for this argument for you to take that position.
No. You want me to play clips? Okay, let's go to the greatest hits.
My mom was a school teacher.
You brought this to yourself. Go ahead.
My mom was a school teacher for 30-something years.
Yeah.
I can tell you how, and I have been to so many school board meetings. This is what I used to do. I would go out, I'd come back from Washington or on the city council.
Okay, when's the last time you went to one? Oh, okay. Then you have that. Then that's irrelevant because this book wasn't around when you were a child.
And I go to community meetings. People fight about stuff. These are not easy issues. They're not. Now if
This is an easy issue. This is a very easy issue. Don't put P-Hub style content in front of children. It's a very easy issue.
If I were a parent and my school was doing that, I'd go to a school board meeting, I'd be pissed off at that, and I think I'd probably win that case and say we shouldn't be teaching this. But
you are a parent.
Not
if you're a parent.
No, but
you
I'm not
are
a parent. You show me some excerpt that discusses
whether it's California, New York,
This
Florida,
is not a California
it's
expert.
Anthony.
That's where you and I
Anthony,
disagree.
This is not just a
What do you mean?
California
If
expert.
That's where you and I
if your
disagree.
11-year-old son was exposed to this, or a grown adult, a grown man was texting your 11-year-old son, what would you do about it?
That's not the question we're suggesting.
Of course, it's all.
What do you mean that's not the question? He just asked you that question. When somebody asks you a question, that's the question.
Taking an excerpt from a California book that we all find.
It's not a California book. I mean, that's not an inaccurate description of it, but it is not a California book. You can find this in schools all over the nation, and you can get it on Amazon anywhere. So this cope that, well, it's a California thing, and I live in New York, so I don't know. I guess we should just let them do whatever they want to their kids. It's just pathetic. Mike says, remember, the left was taking out the Cat in the Hat books because they're racist. So actually, that is incorrect. The Dr. Seuss people themselves decided that they wanted to take the books down, which is, equally as stupid, but there was nobody that was around the same time it was around the same time like the Aunt Jemima stuff and the Uncle Ben, not Uncle Ben, the rice guy, and they, I guess they preemptively did it. So people weren't calling for that, but obviously very stupid thing to take a Cat in a Hat because it's racist.
What would you do if you found someone texting your son?
Wait a minute. Well, let's stick with the books for a second. I just told you what I would do if that book appeared in my son's teaching. I
What would you
told you
do?
what I would do. I would go to the school board. I'd go to the administrator. I'd rally to other parents to go do it, because that's the way we make decisions at that level about these things. We don't do it on podcasts from thousands of miles away who are profiting from not this one in particular, who are profiting from conflict. Fox News all day is around finding these foibles, accelerating into giant things in our country.
What does this have to do with Fox News? Why can't you address the people that are in front of you, the topic that is afoot? You just saw these images. Why are you talking about Fox News? Do you not have your own opinions? Obviously not. But you can see the funnel of how these people think, that, you know, there's everything, every topic that could possibly be. And no matter what, it always funnels into Republicans bad, Republicans racist, Republicans Nazis, something like that. Yeah, the race guy. But I mean, how did we get to Fox News?
Talking about woke this and woke that, and every poll shows we're more divided than we've ever been.
Yes, because people like you, despite agreeing with us that we don't want that book in children's schools, are defending it. Why? Why are you defending it? You just said you don't agree, so why are you defending it? It would be so easy to just say, oh yeah, that's way too far. We got to get that out of schools. Done. Even if you want to take the disgusting position that kids should be taught kink, then you could say, well, you know, I absolutely agree that, you know, this shouldn't be in schools, but I do think it's a very important thing for parents to talk to their children about this stuff. That's a much more reasonable position. And in fact, I agree with that position. I personally would not choose to have myself, or if I could help it, anyone that I knew, have them show that book to their children. But that's a different question. You, sir, have not answered the question. Yeah, definitely doesn't have his own opinions.
All I'm saying is that we make these decisions in an imperfect way, and I'm
Hang
not
on,
saying
hang
we
on,
always
hang
get
on,
it
hang
right.
on. You were poking at Pat for changing the subject. You just went to media using conflict to make ad revenue, and that's your business model. Okay, you're correct about that, but let's go back here. Sure. This is not
There
a
you go.
3,000 mile away issue. There
Nope.
are school boards all across all 50 states. Pick one where parents are bringing this up, but they're being told no, and they're being pushed
I know, you
back. This
stated
book is
that-
going to be there.
I mean, has anybody not seen one of these town hall meetings? If you've not seen a parent try to bring this up at a school meeting, say something in the chat and we will stop the show and make sure that we have the information out there. Because this is not some right-wing conspiracy, or maybe it is in the sense that it's correct and people on the left try to pretend that it's not. But it absolutely is happening.
You've stated that before, and I said, bring me some evidence of that. I've seen more in the other
Bring me
direction.
some evidence.
I've seen,
No. And then
I've
you
seen
say, well, I
thousands-
didn't see that. I
I've
didn't
seen
see that. I
thousands
didn't
of
see the
books
movie.
that
I
have
didn't see
been
that.
banned and removed from shelves and libraries all around. But
Shelves of what? Libraries, fine. But we're talking about school libraries. What public library has had books removed? Unless we're talking about like Tom Sawyer, where they edited out all the N-words. You're on the wrong side of this issue, bro. It's scary that you can do. I mean, he's not doing well, but considering you have no idea what you're talking about, to be able to be treading water on this issue when you know nothing is scary, because there's a million other people, more than a million other people, who think exactly like him, who maybe can't articulate their BS. And now he comes and gives them the exact script. I did not see that.
by legislatures getting over their seats. I don't need to answer this question. Who do you think is more equipped to make these decisions for a local community? The local community school boards and the local community administrators, or legislators a half a state away who don't even represent that district?
That's what we call a false dichotomy. We are not, those are not the only two options. How about the parents? The parents would be the best. So when you say it can only be A or B, but there's actually a C, D, E, or F, or anything more, a false dichotomy. or often called the black and white fallacy. Listen to it again.
I don't need to answer this question. Who do you think is more equipped to make these decisions for a local community? The local community school boards and the local community administrators, or legislators a half a state away who don't even represent that district?
So he's saying either the board and the legislators or another legislation. That is not what we're talking about, bro. We are talking about the school board going against what the parents overwhelmingly have expressed that they want. But you don't know that. Yet you still feel entitled to defend this issue as if you know anything. You know nothing. You know nothing. But where does like my dad always says, you can't be wrong and strong. How do you have this much confidence with this little information? Yeah, so he says he does not have the top. So he says he does not have the top answer. The what?
Who would you think?
I think we've already said that. The people in the school board,
So
but it's
that's
not
what-
happening.
But what if
that's the issue? It's not
I know,
happening.
but that's your
Anthony.
judgment. The point about 3,000 miles away is you're making a judgment on their ability to do their jobs. I get it. Maybe if I was doing
It's not my judgment. The book.
No, it has nothing to do with space and time. It has to do with principles. It has to do with morals. If they were beating children in school in California, I'm sure you'd have something to say about that. Well, who do we think would know better? The legislators or the... It's just, they're not on a podcast, bro. You are. Just answer the question. Stop trying to win an argument and just have a conversation.
If I went to a school district in Mississippi, I might make different decisions, but I'm a Jew from Brooklyn, so I'm not going to do that.
Oh, okay. I guess, since you're a Jew from Brooklyn, that changes everything. You said parents are rallying against this issue, and us not having knowledge of this issue is a failure of our media. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a shame, and this isn't highlighted enough. Well said, Ayush. And sometimes, we talk about this stuff, and I feel like it's a little bit too much. But what you're saying here is exactly why we come back to it over and over and over and over again. Because there is too many people who don't even have a clue. And there's too many people, too many of those people who, despite not having a clue, are up on stage on huge podcasts spreading BS, spreading mental gymnastics, giving the blueprint to how to justify the most hard thing that has ever appeared in my lifetime. I don't get it. Amonte Fo said, make school board salary paid by a number of students in the area. Then let parents choose schools for their kids. Watch how they would start listening to the parents. Yeah, I mean, that sounds perfect to me. That sounds perfect to me. Then you actually are incentivized to do your job. Because as it stands, you're directly incentivized to not do your job. The more issues there are, the more they need you. This sounds like a plan.
If the books are in the classroom, that means the parents have lost. And they're in the classrooms and
yes, there might be a book in a classroom in Mississippi that I don't like.
Told ya.
I told you. What did I tell you?
I'm a
Didn't
guy
I
from
tell
Brooklyn,
you?
New
'Cause
York,
I told
and what? So maybe let's let the legislature do.
So there's nothing. You can't think of anything that's ever happened in California that you didn't like, that you didn't say anything about, and then spread to the rest of the country. Oh, your entire platform.
Do it. Let's let the governor do it. Maybe we should elect a president who wants to do it. I mean, it's just remember something. You want this perfect formulation of every decision being exactly where Fox News wants it at all times.
Back to Fox News. Cope harder, bro. Cope harder.
No, shit's gonna get screwed up sometimes.
this is
We're
not
gonna
about-
do.
Shit is screwed up. That's the point. Shit is screwed up. We're trying to fix it. The fuck are you doing? Stop licking your own asshole.
Fox News,
gonna-
and I didn't say president, I didn't say legislature.
I know.
You keep going back upstream with
I
that
know.
argument.
I'm
saying, let's
I'm the
look
other
at
way
the
around.
books
I'm narrowing the scope of conflict to say this is this local area.
No,
I'm
you're
using this as an
broadening the scope
alternative.
of argument.
No, I am to make the opposite argument, which I believe is being made here. You're saying we're 3,000 miles away and we don't like a decision being made in a school district in California.
No, you're narrowing.
Granted.
No, you're narrowing.
It's not about the district. It's about the principle of should this be in a school or not? And it's your personal opinion that they're asking about. You can say that, yes, you want this disgusting filth in front of children. You can say it. It's clear that you think it, but you can't obfuscate the issue as if we're talking about something so localized when it's not. It's just not. Hey, we got Kelly Green in the building. Welcome to the party. Says it's funny because my Anthony squirms when pressed. I mean, Weiner. There you go. If you did that on purpose, that was hilarious. Welcome to the party, Kelly Green. Daniel says, think about it. If he got to contain his dick pics to one state, they never would have made it out en masse. Of course, this is his stance. That makes a lot of sense, man. That makes a lot of sense. Anything that happens can only be in that state. That would really help him out.
The point. Very good, counselor. You're narrowing the point down to 3,000 miles away as if that's the only place it's happening. It's not. The books are in classrooms all across the United States.
My friend, you're saying that over and over again, and I keep trying to make, since we don't have a...
Ooh, Mike with a great point here. If we're going to use his argument, we shouldn't be helping Ukraine. Why is it our business? It's thousands of miles away. Great point.
Specific example, except the one that's been on the screen. I will make the general argument that it's none of your business. It's not.
You're going to tell me with a straight face that crossing the line, the hard red line of children cannot consent to sexuality or anything sexual. That's something I shouldn't care about. I don't care what you like or don't like. If this is not something that is very fundamentally something that I don't get it. How and why are you defending this?
None of your business. Your business is your school district.
No,
your business is... Now, the world is coming to an end because California is all fucked up.
It's the other way around.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the other way. It's exactly our business. It's our country. It's our, not our children, but it might be your children. And I mean, come on, man. You're not even saying anything.
It's none of your business what I do with my kids. You don't get to teach my kids about certain issues like this on LGBTQ at certain age, and in third grade you want to talk about sex and all this stuff. That's none of your business.
Patrick, why are you so powerless?
That's none of your business.
Patrick, why are you so powerless? What goes on in your kid's school?
No, I'm not powerless. I make decisions.
He's powerless because people like you are minimizing and obfuscating the issue and turning them into domestic terrorists. That's why.
Exactly.
I make decisions. I never feel powerless at all. No.
So why are you saying I'm not doing anything to your kids?
The concept of running for boards, you're 100%.
Not anymore. He's like, I'm not doing anything to your kids. Not anymore.
Right. We did a video talking about, what was the video title, Brandon? We talked about parents. You got to go run for board. And rather than complaining about it, do something about it. Absolutely. We're for it.
Yep. I covered that.
But to say these types of issues, you're 59 years old, 15 years older than me, in school. When you were 12 years old, did anybody teach you how to give a blowjob?
I don't believe anyone taught me how to give a blowjob, Patrick.
Do you think you needed to learn how to do that at 10 or 12 years old?
I have trouble accessing that part of my memory.
What? Why would you not just say no?
I highly doubt it. You're a very sharp guy. So for me,
I was not a player at 12. Let me guarantee you.
Sucking other boys is dangling is not a player. I'm asking you a question about what it was to. If that was something you needed to learn at the age of 10 or 11 or 12, that part is
Patrick.
How ludicrous is my question right now?
I have an 11-year-old. Ask me about my 11-year-old.
Ask me about my wiener. I used to just shut up and let us promote PDF Ilya. Why are you asking all these questions? Yup.
Answer easily.
But the point is the fact that two things. One, I agree with them. One, I disagree with them. The area I agree with them is the following. Kudos to you for straight up saying, no, I don't support something like that if that was the case.
Except he does.
Kudos to you
If that was
for
that-
saying that. Now, number two, kudos to you for saying parents do something about it. They are. And many of these districts, they are. They're fighting. And they're doing
In
their
both
part.
directions.
Hey, shout out to JH. Welcome to the party. Good to see you. So I still can't believe he came on for this interview. I agree. When I saw this, I was like, my eyes lit up and I was like, ooh, we are going to have fun tonight. Welcome to the party. Welcome. Unwanted Folk said he's heading down the route that Ayush guessed. I don't want to talk about it. Yep. Desperately try to change the topics there. Yeah, because there is no good answer. There is no reason to defend what he's defending. And the other guy, I don't know the other guy's name, the guy with glasses, Vince, maybe? I don't know. He specifically was calling him out on the moving the argument into what Fox News says and this and that. And he still weaseled his way out of saying what he actually believes, that he's fine with sexual material being distributed to children. How are you somebody that can say that and not be ousted from society? I mean, the guy was before his time. He was sexting teens before TikTok was even around. So I guess we shouldn't be that surprised, right? Zippy said, well, he will spin it and most Democrats will buy in. I think you're right. Let's back this up a little bit.
And many of these districts, they are. They're fighting. And they're doing
In
their
both
part.
directions.
Yeah.
They're fighting in both. They're fighting to stop book bans and they're fighting to stop this.
Except they're not book bans. They're just banning them from school, which is a very different thing. Guns are not banned. Cigarettes are not banned. Playboys are not banned, but you are not allowed to bring them into a school.
This is the way it's been in America since the birth of our country.
But
This is certainly not the way it has been in America since the birth of our country. Never, ever since the birth of our country has America been a place where we distribute P-Hub style content to children against the parents' wishes or unbeknownst to them. No, sir. I'm not a historian and you're twice my age, but I'm going to call BS on that one.
we weren't this insane 20 years ago. We weren't this
let's pause on that point.
crazy 30 years ago.
Let's
Yeah,
pause on
I
this
can
point.
give you Gallup, Pew Research, all of this stuff.
Let's pause on this.
Yeah, go
point.
ahead.
I do believe that, yes, cultural things change and that conversations about homosexuality, about transgender, about gay marriage have changed an enormous amount. We are a country.
But we're not even talking about any of those things. We are now talking about what is appropriate for children in general. In general. That is why I bring things up like cigarettes. Because I don't believe grooming your children. They're just not appropriate for children. So whether or not this book is gay, is grooming children, which obviously it is, but whether it is or not, it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate. That is it.
We are a progressive country in all kinds of different ways. But we also should acknowledge that we do have an echo chamber in this country that loves stuff like this. We have at least one candidate for president who one of his stock and trade things is this amorphous word about taking wokeism out. We do have a marketplace that is accelerating these conflicts beyond California, beyond our neighborhood town halls, to be echo chamber types of things that we are here thousands of miles away arguing about them. There's a market for this. I don't believe it's a healthy market, Patrick. I don't. And every week I try to say to my audience, okay, listen, let's try to return to the place that we can have conversations around things like how we structure government, how we make decisions, how we try to find our values expressed in government.
This is the mentality of a boomer liberal, where they don't understand that the progressive and far left elements of politics today do not explicitly do not want what he is saying. The whole thing with semantic obfuscation is that they don't want the conversations. They want to be able to dominate by discrediting your character and saying that because you are a bad person, anything you say, we don't need to follow. I don't need to deal with your ideas and your opinions. I'm just going to accept that I'm right and you're wrong because of some a priori dogmatic belief. Agree that we should get back to a place where we can talk to each other. But what he doesn't understand is that there are people actively fighting against that. It's a level of naivete that you only find in people who are checked out. And actually, it's not people who are it's people who at one time were tapped in and are now checked out. And so they think they know because they were in the weeds. Can you guys see me? Telling me not, whatever. They were in the weeds, and so they knew more than all of us. But then things changed, and they don't realize that things change. And to them, it's all politics. But things indeed have changed. Like said, Anthony Weiner makes me start liking Jen Guger. Oh no, oh no. Unwanted Post said, none of that is an argument for prawn in school there, Weiner. Nope. Not at all. The I'm not going to talk about it method. Ayush says the smug look on his face, like he really said something cool, gets me all the time. Did he try to say progress is reading kids prawn? Yup. That's what he thinks.
In ways that don't necessarily and I can tell you the values in a
Actually, let's get that whole thing.
structure government, how we make decisions, how we try to find our values expressed in government in ways that don't necessarily and I can tell you the values in a school board in Mississippi and the values of the school board in Chelsea, New York might be different. We don't have to treat that as a threat to our kids.
So if you like this,
And before we move on to the final clip, clearly and obviously, it is a direct threat to our kids. I feel like I don't need to bore out that anymore because it's very obvious. But it obviously is a threat to our kids. So I saved the best for last. The best for last. Shout out to PBD. Brings up the Clinton kill list to the guy who was married to Hillary Clinton's right-hand woman. And it gets ugly. I hope y'all are ready.
You were very eloquent on the way you defended Hillary Clinton, on who she was when it comes down to politics. Are you still close to that family?
I'm not.
Okay. So who do you think between the two was a better politician? You think Bill's the better politician? Do you think Hillary's the better politician?
I don't think Hillary was a particularly good politician.
Okay, so she's a better strategist, you would say. She's more strategic, power.
She is a classic blooming where she's potted kind of public official.
Yeah.
Everything that she has been given to do. I watched her, as a rookie elected official come into New York and become an amazing senator. I watched her at Secretary of State she blooms where she's potted. She knows government well. She's smart as a very, very smart person.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that it's hard. I think it was hard for her to get her sea legs, being the first woman candidate of a major party. I think it was hard for her to get her sea legs in the framing of Bill Clinton's wife. I think it was a lot of things, or a lot of challenge she faced that you and I would not face on the campaign.
Do you think she's a good person?
I do.
Okay. So
Hell no.
Oh, hell no.
Hillary Clinton, a good person? I mean, come on. I stole money from friends. I sat in the shadiest neighborhoods. I was a drug addict for 5 years. And still, the most shameful thing, and you guys know it, but I will never let myself forget it because of how shameful this was. The single most shameful thing that I have ever done was to cast a vote for that horrid woman. I just didn't know any better. I was brainwashed by the mainstream media, and I thought I was doing the right thing. Thankfully, I was able to see that I was brainwashed. But a good person, A good person doesn't say, we came, we came, we conquered, he died, or whatever the fuck she said. A good person. I mean, come on. Zippy says Clintons are a. I know that I'm thinking about what I want to say out loud, but I'll leave that there because I don't want to get into it. But exactly. Unwanted Post said only the people who have voted for Hillary think she's a good person. Nope. Most of us very much voted begrudgingly. Most of us that because I was, in a crowd of people I was a Bernie bro. I wanted Bernie. And none of us liked it. We were just convinced that Trump would end the world. And clearly, we were wrong. A good person, he says. A good person about Hillary Clinton. Just sit on that for a second.
When we, announced the fact that we're interviewing you, we kind of crowdsource with the audience, what questions do you want to ask? And then our research team will go and say, hey, is there any credibility to this or not? And then we don't waste our time. So, hey, we're having Anthony Weiner on. Great. So you have to ask him about frazzle drip. Go look it up. Oh, this video is
Wait a minute. What? I don't know about that. Let me pull this down here in case it's something that we don't. Okay. Sometime called Frazzled.rip is a rumored dark web snuff film showing Hillary Clinton and longtime aide Huma Abedin. That is Anthony Weiner's ex-wife. Oh wait, do I have you guys? Yeah, okay. Essaying and murdering a young girl, drinking her blood, and taking turns wearing the skin from her face as a mask.
What?
The video was allegedly discovered on a former Congressman Anthony Weiner's laptop in a folder labeled life insurance. That's what you guys meant. And the police officers who reportedly seen it were so horrified that they were driven to self-deletion. Conspiracy theories have pointed to the video, which does not actually exist. Doesn't it, though? To support long-standing conspiracy theories that the politicians, celebrities, and other elites essay children and consume the remains. Holy moly! Did not know about that. Did not know about that. Wow. So he says, I wrote in Bernie. Chaos is fine, too. There you go. There you go. JH says, I hated Hillary and voted for Trump as I figured there was no way he could be worse than the devil. You were right. You were right. I wish I was as smart as you at that time. I wish I was as smart as you at that time. And I definitely was not. So shout out to you. Yeah, man. That's and he lists up a bunch of stuff here. That was just the first thing.
You have to ask him about frazzle drip. Go look it up. Oh, this video is a deep fake. Not any credibility to it on what happened with Hillary Clinton, Huma, and all this stuff. Nope, we're not going to ask him about that because I don't yet see a real source. A lot of it was stuff that, conspiracy, all this stuff that's being said. We're not going there. Yeah, you need to ask him about Pizzagate because that's exactly what's going on with kids. Yeah, no, we're not going there. That's not something we're going to be asking about.
Why not? I would love to hear his thoughts on the gate of pizzas. I would love to hear what he has to say about that. Unwanted Foe said, why would the cops self-delete if the video didn't exist? They wouldn't.
Yeah, you need to ask him about this, and you need to ask him about this. I said, okay. All of these things that they said we have to ask you about. To be fair, it's Bill Clinton officiated your wedding with Huma, your wife, if I'm not mistaken. Correct. So you've been very close, and your wife, is it still wife or is it ex-wife? I think it's separated since 2017, right?
We're separated. We co-parent Jordan, but we're separated.
Okay. And, she was a right-hand person to Hillary Clinton in 2016 while the scandal was taking place.
For years before that, she was with Hillary she's 20 years.
And the whole thing with the life insurance, the email, 650,000, one folder with the word life insurance and the files that are in there. So the next thing that people said you got to ask him is the following. So
oh my God. Shout out to the cameraman or whoever's controlling which camera they go to. Can we just relive that really quick? That look on his face was priceless.
and the emails that are in there. So the next thing that people said,
What is that? What is that?
one folder with the word life insurance and the files that are in there. So the next thing that people said you got to ask him is the following. So, hey, Rob, if you can pull up this story, I'm not going to buy into this one. Well, 9 out of 12 cops, NYPD, who saw the email and saw what was in that laptop, committed suicide. And it was, 7 of them since June. And it was the most ever that this took place. And these are the men that committed suicide. So then we went and looked it up. And we're like, no, they did commit suicide, but it wasn't linked directly to seeing the laptop or the intel there. No problem. So again,
how could you possibly know that? How could you possibly know that? Genuine question. How do you know why they self-deleted?
no credibility there. So there's no reason to ask you the question about the 9 out of 12 cops that saw it
You
in
shouldn't even be
NYPD.
listening.
Yeah, you see what he's doing though. He's like, well, I'm not going to ask you about this, but I'm just going to, tell you that we're not going to ask about the specific folder on your laptop that had Frazzle Drip and Hillary Clinton. And despite the fact that Bill Clinton officiated your wedding and Uba Abdullah, I'm not going to ask you about any of that. Shout out to PBD. He's bringing Anthony Weiner's noticing it right now.
There, so there's no reason to ask you the question about the 9 out of 12 cops that saw it
You
in
shouldn't even be
NYPD.
listing them and giving it oxygen.
No, my
but go
job is
ahead.
to listen because I like to
No,
read.
list them. You shouldn't be listing these
Yeah,
things.
well,
These things
it is
are
what it is.
destructive. People have actually
these
had
are
violence
conspiracy
done over these
theories.
things.
These are conspiracy
Correct.
theories that
All
some
that have
people
books about them, though. That I
right.
wouldn't
But the one
recommend you
thing
read.
that we did look up that wasn't a
You mad, bro?
conspiracy theory was the following. And this is the one that's kind of weird. And first
This
thing
is
I
the
asked,
whoa. This is the one that's kind of weird. Frazzle Drip, nah. The Gator Pizzas, nah. But this is the weird one. What could possibly be weirder than either of those, much less the two of them together?
myself is how the hell is our guy here, Anthony Weiner, still alive? What do you mean by that? Well, when you go through the list of people that have been close to Hillary Clinton and the Clintons and the Deadpool, this is not a conspiracy. You got the names of James McDougal, okay, Clinton's convicted Whitewater partner, died of an apparent heart attack. Mary Mahoney, a former White House intern, was murdered July 1997 at a Starbucks coffee shop in Georgetown.
Ron Brown, he died in a
Vince
in a plane
Foster.
crash.
Vince Foster
What is
was
this?
Vince Foster was the next one. By the way, the James.
So I want you guys to see this in full because it's the escalation of his reaction that really sold this for me. Cerebrus says, sounds to me that a little extra was added to the story so people might dismiss the whole incident.
Bingo.
That is wholly what I believe. That is wholly and fully what I believe. I don't have any, solid evidence for that to be the case, but nothing else but this makes sense. Nothing else but this makes sense. With everything that we do know, and thinking about everything that they know that we don't know, and then what we don't even know that they know, or if they don't know, there's just too much for the for it to be nothing. It's just too much. I don't know which parts are true and which parts are fake. But I know that stories like that just don't come out of nowhere. Unwanted Foe said, we know because every self-deletion letter had a Clinton Foundation header. So it's a reliable source. Is that real? Or are you joking? That can't be real. Really? No, that would be insane. That would be insane. All right. Check out. So pay attention to how Anthony Weiner is getting increasingly comfortable with this line of questioning.
Was murdered July 1997 at a Starbucks coffee shop in Georgetown.
Ron Brown, he died in a
Vince
in
Foster,
a plane crash.
Vince Foster
What is
was
this?
Vince Foster was the next one. By the way, the James Dougal was a key witness in a key Ken Starr
Ron
investigation.
Brown was in a plane crash. Why is he on the list?
Ron Brown is another one, but there was
Because he's close to Clinton.
a close person to this. Victor Razor. You got Paul Tooley, Ed Woolley.
Wait a minute.
Wiley.
You're reading a list of people that Bill and Hillary
I'm
Clinton
asking
knew.
you.
They're 80.
Well,
They're 70
but wait a
something
minute.
years old.
I'm asking you
Of course
this
people
question.
die.
I'm asking you this question and an answer at the end. So you got Jerry Parks, Jane Bunch, James
man.
Wilson,
You're
Kathy
better.
Ferguson, Bill Shelton,
better than
Candy
this.
Bow,
You're better than this,
Florence
pal.
Martin, Susan Coleman, Paula Grober, Danny Casolero, Paula Wilker, John
don't know any of these
Parnell
names.
Walker, Barbara Weiss. We should
Methinks she doth protest too much.
verify this yourself because you're running a radio show. You should look it up.
I
Charles
don't know any of
Meisner,
these
Dr.
names,
Stanley
my man.
Hurd, Barry Beal, Barry Seal,
Here,
Johnny
can you
Longhorn,
read me the
Stanley
URL you're reading?
Higgins,
Can you read me the URL
Herschel.
you're
We'll
reading?
send you the most credible source
let
you
your
can look it
listeners
up.
know
Herschel
what you're
Friday.
what
We
you're
will.
reading
We'll
a
put the
list
link
of.
below. We'll put the
Just
link
tell
below.
me so I know what I'm
Herschel
responding
Friday,
to.
Kevin Ivy, Dan Henry, Keith Coney. And these were part of the Ivy Henry case. Keith McCaskill.
What's the Ivy Henry case?
You can look it up. Ivy Henry case. So Gregory Collins, Jeff Rhodes, James Milland, Richard Winter, and then you got the close bodyguards, Major
Chemsick,
William
at the bottom.
Barkley, Captain Scott Reynolds, Brian Hanley, Tim
All
Sable,
bodyguards.
William
Wow, this is 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. 12 Clinton bodyguards. 12 Clinton bodyguards.
I don't even know what you're reading a
William
list of. How is this? How is
Densberger,
this
Robert
helpful?
Kelly, Colonel Gary Rhodes,
Getting uncomfortable.
Steve Wills, Robert Williams, Conway
Is this gonna
LeBlue,
be-
Todd
is this gonna
McKeon.
be
I'm
included in
done.
the show?
It's 46 names. And
Of what?
when
Can you read me
I-
the list?
Wait, what did he say? Did he say I'm done with this show?
Robert Kelly, Colonel Gary Rhodes, Steve Wills, Robert Williams, Conway
Is this gonna
LeBlue,
be-
Todd
is this gonna
McKeon.
be
I'm
included in
done.
the show?
It's
He said, is this going to be included in the show? Yeah, damn right. Not only included in the show, but chopped up and served up on a platter just for us. Just for us. And obviously, true there, Mike. Unwanted Post said, tell me the URL so I know what I'm responding to, bro. Is that going to help your case at all? No, you're just going to say, oh, well, you're doing it where they it's some conspiracy thing. It's like, okay, well, maybe they've already done the research behind this. They just said they're not going to talk about frazzle. They just said they're not going to talk about the Gator pizzas. But they looked into this. So I'm taking PBD at his word. I don't know for sure anything. I mean, he hasn't made a claim yet. But I take him as a reliable source to double check something. So, like I used to saying, where there's smoke, there's fire.
46 names. And
Of what?
when
Can
I-
you read
when
me
I-
the list?
when
Can you
I-
read me the URL so
when
I know what you read a list of?
when
before
I
answer any
finished,
questions
when I
about it?
finished it,
I love how he's just talking right over it.
is when I finished
And again, I show this stuff to you guys, not just because it's entertaining, but because I want you to see what is happening conversationally. Even if you're not interested in, I mean, I don't know how you couldn't be, but even if you're not interested in how Anthony Weiner is connected to the Clinton kill list and all the, when you think it's some crazy conspiracy, you have to pay attention to the fact that, number one, that Anthony Weiner is getting very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. This is why I saved this for the last, so we could see how he was in the other clips. And then we could see here, he's like, well, what is this? Where's the URL? What is this? I don't know what this is. You can't, all that stuff. And then, and we've only just begun. He hasn't even asked the question yet. And we have to, he said maybe he's alive because he has life insurance. Good one, good one, good one. But yeah, so not only that, but how PBD is maintaining frame, if you want to put it in red pill terms, but he's maintaining his frame in the conversation by not letting him, not letting Anthony Weiner stop him from say what he wants to say. So I know we just did this, but I want you to pay, I want to run it back, and I want you to pay special attention to how PBD, because before I was saying pay attention to Weiner. Now I want you to specifically pay attention to how PBD is handling this. Because it's not like he's not aware that Anthony Weiner doesn't want this to be read. It's not like he's unaware that he's uncomfortable. But it's a game. It's a game. It's a dance. And he's doing it perfectly.
Enter, and then you got the close bodyguards, Major
Chemsick at
William
the bottom.
Barkley, Captain Scott Reynolds, Brian Hanley, Tim Sable,
What do
General William
you don't
Robertson,
even know what you're reading a
William
list of. How is this? How is
Densberger,
this helpful?
Robert Kelly, Colonel Gary
Right there.
Rhodes, Steve Wills, Robert Williams, Conway
Is this gonna
LeBlue,
be-
Todd
is this gonna
McKeon.
be
I'm
included in
done.
the show?
It's
Be included in the show.
46 names. And
Of what?
when
Can
I-
you read
when
me
I-
the list?
when
Can you
I-
read me the URL?
when-
So he's asking for the URL. He could very easily just be like, yeah, it's this.com and go back to what he's saying, which would also be a good tactic to shut him up and to dismiss this line of, well, where are you getting your information? It's from right here, as I was saying. But a little bit more big bro is just be like, I am talking, and just because you are opening your mouth does not mean I'm going to stop talking.
I know what you read a list of.
When I finish this, still in the storm.com. You can look it up.
Still in the storm.com.
You can look it up.
This is your big moment, guys.
Yeah, so you can go. And by the way,
ads about chemtrails at the end of it.
He hasn't even asked the question.
By the
He's
way,
just reading the article.
He's reading a list of names.
So
he hasn't even asked the question. It's a list.
The fact that you're getting nervous is an answer.
It's not nervous. This stuff makes me sick when you repeat
exactly.
these
makes us sick as
ridiculous-
well. It also makes us sick.
does.
So if it makes you sick, then what you should want to do is to put it to bed and say, this is not a reasonable line of questioning because of X, Y, Z, but you can't. So you get uncomfortable and you whine and you squirm.
It
Of course, because the establishment makes us sick.
You start the question by reading a list of well-founded
Your reaction is an answer.
conspiracies. I know these things make me sick, and people
Your
have gotten killed.
reaction is
over
an
it.
answer.
Someone went into a pizza parlor in Washington because they believe this shit, and you're making an echo chamber.
Your reaction is an answer. So
that is exactly the same as the, well, why do you care? Well, somebody did a bad thing because they thought things, and therefore you don't deserve the truth.
What?
That's the logic of what you just said.
well, let me go to it here now.
No.
Your reaction is an answer.
List. Yeah, my reaction is my reaction.
Yeah,
Can you
exactly.
tell me what that list, in your view,
You haven't allowed me to finish. If you allow me to finish the
because you're reading
question,
46
then you
random
can
names
do
off the internet,
whatever you
of
want.
some fucking insane website.
I love your answer.
And
because
these people who you don't even know who they are, you're reading them on a list of something, making some kind of as if it's somehow suspicious. You don't even know who these human beings are who have
12 bodyguards on a list of 46 people very close to the Clintons who died in weird ways. Sounds interesting enough to me. I don't know what the question is, but I'm certainly listening.
families who are like out there, and now
I'll spend the next
reading
2 hours with you one by one, explaining each as individuals are if you want to do that.
How about you pick one? Pick one and tell me who he was and what his story was. No, not you. You were asking me the question. Pick one name and then tell me.
Pull up Vince Foster if you want.
No, Vince Foster, that suicide has been investigated 50 times.
Okay, then you should have no issue with talking about it. If this is something that has been investigated 50 times, and oh, perfect. Yes, please bring up Vince Foster because I've done this 50 times and I'm going to lay the smackdown on this argument because I know so well how BS that is. That would be my reaction. I don't know about you guys, but if somebody handed me on a silver platter a false narrative that I could smack down, you goddamn better believe that I'm going to take that opportunity.
So one of the obscure names you pulled. Why did you pull Ron Brown? Here, let me read Ron Brown. Ron Brown, a Commerce Secretary who a plane crashed while he was on a humanitarian mission, crashed into the side of a mountain. So what do you want to know about Ron Brown? What do you want to know about Ron Brown?
Can you let me ask the question?
No, listen, this is a conversation.
No.
We're having a conversation.
I'm sorry. I'm the host. You invite me to your podcast. You get to ask the question. I'm the host. I'm going to ask you the question. You haven't let me answer the question.
I didn't see
your reaction is already an answer.
I know. I am infuriated by people who drag other
why
people's
you would
names
be.
who are powerless. You're not powerless.
Hillary Clinton is
I'm not-
powerless?
No, these people.
Hillary Clinton is
These
powerless.
people.
That's the problem.
These people.
Hillary's the problem.
You read a
The
list of people
the
because you have the
establishment
power to
people.
do it. People who do that are bullies, and I don't appreciate bullies.
I have the power to do what?
You do. To read a list of some stranger's name.
To use the DOJ and other things to control and
That's
hide
not
things?
DOJ.
Yeah.
DOJ didn't make this
let
list.
me finish up
some
my question.
jackass made a list in his
You
basement.
have the right to
You're reading their
answer.
names as if they're incriminating
You
in
have
some
the
way.
right.
That is an appeal to false authority. It doesn't, or I guess that would be an ad hominem. Just because it's a dude in his basement doesn't mean that he can't do FOIA requests and whatever to put these together. That would be an ad hominem.
That's bullying, and I don't appreciate.
That's bullying. Don't bully me. You're bullying. Don't bully me. No, I can't take it. You're reading names, and you're gonna ask me a question about something, and that's bullying. Bailey's like, what the hell is going on? Welcome to the party. I wish I still had that. So let me just ask you: are you familiar with who Anthony Weiner is? Because we'll go into it. But Anthony Weiner is back. Anthony Weiner is back.
The right
You're
to
reading their
answer.
names as if they're incriminating
You
in
have
some
the
way.
right to
That's
answer.
bullying, and
You
I don't
have-
appreciate. And
you have
I
the-
stand up against bullies.
Please do so.
He hasn't even asked the question yet,
He's
Anthony.
reading a list and he's refused. And now he says, "Let's move on."
No.
Because I sketch.
Oh, yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, Anthony Weiner. Anthony Weiner. Hey, shout out to Alex Pickers. Welcome to the party, brother. We got Anthony Weiner on stage. And if you're not familiar, Billy doesn't know about Anthony Weiner. So I don't remember exactly when it was. I want to say early 2000s. It doesn't really matter. He was running for mayor of New York City. And he got caught texting or sexting minors, including dick pics. So he got caught. You know, he went on this apology tour with his wife and, you know, oh, I made a mistake and and people seemed to accept it. So he got back into politics. He's doing his thing. He's doing whatever. And then he gets caught again doing the same thing. And that was, I mean, that was probably around 2016. And his wife, or now ex-wife, is Hillary Clinton's best friend, right-hand man. So this is like a very potentially influential and powerful person and a very bad, evil, slimy person. Yes, Weiner is indeed a snake. And so what's happening is that PBD is trying to ask him about a question about the Clinton kill list. If you're not familiar, there is a list of 46 names of people who were at one time close to the Clintons and now are dead from weird circumstances, including make sure that's clear, including 12 former bodyguards. 12 former bodyguards, all dead. Hillary was never president. So we're talking about Bill and whatever else was going on with them, you know, with them while she was, you know, I don't know, I guess, well, she wasn't secretary, not secretary, but whatever she was doing. 12. And basically, PBD was just like, Anthony Weiner, how are you still alive? And pulls up this list. Okay, is anybody against us going through that part one more time? Just because it was so funny to watch. Yeah, I mean, he was really crazy. Ayush says, ask me about Ron Brown because I'm prepared with the lies to tackle his story. Mommy. Yep. Mike says, I guess Anthony Weiner is a useful idiot, or Hillary would have killed him already. Probably. Well said. Jade said he was a big reason Trump got elected. Yep. Yikes is correct. And yes, I forgot about that. I did see this, the Anthony Weiner documentary. And this is, so that I think is a bigger reason why I thought he was, you know, a reasonable guy, the documentary, because that was after, you know, everything was happening. And I believe they were filming as he got caught the second time. If I remember correctly, they were filming his comeback, and then the documentary ends with him getting caught again. I forgot about that. Definitely a worthy watch. Daniel says, did you call a woman a right-hand man, you bigot? Goddamn right I did. Nobody said no, so we're gonna back this up a little bit just to watch the fun one more time. Not all the way back, just until the end of the list. So he's, you know, reading off the list, and Anthony Weiner's getting real uncomfortable.
But can you read me the list? Can you read me the URL so I know what you read a list of before I answer any questions about it?
When I finish this, still in the storm.com. You can look it up.
Still in the storm.com.
You can look it up.
This is your big moment, guys.
Yeah, so you can go. And by the way,
ads about chemtrails at the end of it.
He hasn't even asked the question.
By the
He's
way,
just reading the article.
He's reading a list of names.
So
He hasn't even asked the question. It's a list.
the fact that you're getting nervous is an answer.
It's not
okay?
nervous. This stuff
Let
makes
me
me
wrap
sick
it.
when you repeat
Exactly,
these
it makes us sick as
ridiculous-
well. It also
It
makes us
obviously
sick.
doesn't. It
Of course,
obviously
because
doesn't.
the establishment
You
makes us
start
sick.
the question by reading a list of
Your reaction
well-founded
is an answer.
conspiracy. I know these things make me sick, and people
Your
have gotten
reaction
killed.
is an
over it.
answer.
Someone went into a pizza parlor in
Yes.
Washington because they believe this shit, and
Your-
you're making an echo
Your
chamber. out of it.
reaction is an answer. So let me go to it here now.
No.
So-
Your
Your reaction
You're not
is
going to
an
read a list.
answer.
Yeah, my reaction is my reaction.
Yeah,
Can you
exactly.
tell me what that list, in your view,
You
what would-
haven't allowed me to finish. If you allow me to finish the
because you're reading
question,
46
then you
random
can
names
do
off the internet,
whatever you
of
want.
some fucking insane website.
I love your answer.
And
because
these people who you don't even know who they are, you're reading them on a list of something, making some kind of as if it's somehow suspicious. You don't even know who these human beings are, who have families, who are like out there. And now
we missed that. We missed that the first time around. Thank you, Bailey, for giving us the opportunity. I didn't even notice the pivot to who are these people and their story. He completely dodged that. Well done. Well done. What is 199? Yeah, his reaction is all you need. Weiner might have list phobia. Maybe.
Next 2 hours with you, one by one, explaining each individuals are if you want to do that.
How about you pick one? Pick one and tell me who he was and what his story was. No, not you. You were asking me the question. Pick one name and then tell me.
Pull up Vince Foster if you want.
No, Vince Foster, that suicide has been investigated 50 times. Pull up one of the obscure names you pulled. Why did you pull Ron Brown? Here, let me read Ron Brown. Ron Brown, a Commerce Secretary who a plane crashed while he was on a humanitarian mission, crashed on the side of a mountain. So what do you want to know about Ron Brown? What do you want to know about Ron Brown?
Can you let me ask the question?
No, listen, this is
and it's sus that when he was initially reading the list, Ron Brown was like number 4 on that list. And he called out, Ron Brown has nothing to do with this. So, whoever said, bring up, ask me about Ron Brown because I'm prepared with the lies to tackle this story. Like we can see right through you, brother. We can see right through you. And the fact is that you are of the old guard. People who are used to being able to read people in long form discussions like this, which weren't really a thing, especially for politicians when you were in the fray. Now we have the opportunity to see you fucking squirm and see who you really are. It says saying these are human beings with families is so hilarious. Yeah, I mean that's any attempt to pivot and not have the conversation. Anything. Hey, shout out to Melted Mind Media. Welcome to the party. Said no, he can't let you ask. Yeah, I mean that's his podcast, right? Welcome to the party, brother. JH says PBD talks the next Dave Smith and was referring to him having a dead man switch. Why Hillary hasn't added him to the list? So I know Dave Smith was on after Weiner. Who was referring to who having a dead man switch? Why Hillary hadn't added who to the list? Dave Smith said that Hillary. Yeah, I don't understand what you mean by that. Daniel said, "This is the weaseliest son of a bitch I think I may have ever seen." Agreed.
Conversation.
No.
We're having a conversation.
I'm sorry. I'm the host. You invite me to your podcast. You get to ask the question. I'm the host. I want to ask you the question. You haven't let me answer the question.
I didn't see
your reaction is already an answer.
I know. I am infuriated by people who drag
understand
other
why
people's
you would
names
be.
who are powerless. You're not powerless.
Hillary Clinton is
I'm
powerless?
No, these people.
Hillary Clinton is
These
powerless.
people.
That's the problem.
These people.
Hillary's the problem.
You read a list of people because you have the power to do it. People who do that are bullies, and I don't appreciate bullies.
I have the power to do what?
You do. To read a list of some stranger's names.
I have the power to use the DOJ and other things to control.
That's not DOJ.
Yeah.
DOJ didn't make this list.
Let me finish up my question.
Some jackass made a list in his basement.
You have the right to...
There you go.
Reading their names as if they're incriminating in some way.
You have the right to
That's
answer.
bullying, and I don't appreciate. And I stand up against bullies.
Please do so.
He hasn't even asked the question yet,
He's
Anthony.
reading a list.
I stand up against bullies. What a loser.
He's refused. And now he says, let's move on.
No.
Because I set your answer
Nobody
already.
has said move
He
on.
hasn't
You're
even asked the
panicking.
question. I don't even know what the question is.
Yeah.
Pick a name.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Reading
And you get
a
to
list
answer
of people who
or
probably,
not answer.
And there are some of those people that had military titles in front of them, and you're dragging their
That's
name.
even the
You're
point.
dragging their name
That's
through the
even the
and
point.
Nobody's dragging their name, you fucking moron. Nobody is dragging their name. We are saying specifically, hey, we want to know what is going on with these people. We want to know the real story. That is precisely the point of having a list like that. Yeah. Hasn't even asked the question yet. Zuby says, Weiner is a bull, or tries to be. Yup.
You should be ashamed
because
of yourself.
their families would want to know.
Because you've got a podcast.
Some of their
you
families would want to know.
Some conspiracy theory podcast, some conspiracy theory that 9 people read. You find some guy that comes in, and then you go from Ron Brown to some obscure officer that used to protect Bill Clinton, who passed away. May he rest in peace for his service.
All of them rest
and
in
you
peace.
are dragging them into some wacky conspiracy theory.
I mean, when I said originally that I remember him being a firebrand, this is what I was referring to, that he's doing a very good job of faking this outrage to change the subject. The question hasn't been let out yet. And regardless of what you have to say, you're in a shitty situation. And the best thing that you can do is buy time. There's nothing else. And he's buying time. Unwanted Foe said, damn, he's more triggered than a woke mom when a white man walks by ignoring them. Oh my God. May he rest in peace. How ironic. As you're screaming his name as we're trying to understand what really happened to him. Yeah, exactly, Mike. He's not dragging their names. He's trying to honor them. It is actually Weiner who is dragging their name by bullshit like this, grandstanding like this. You're bullying them, and they have families, and they were doing this, and they were doing that, and I am so morally superior. And what was the question? Oh, why did I send pictures to a 16-year-old? You're a bully!
May all of them rest in peace. So here's the question for you. Because
finally,
millions of people are not convinced Hillary Clinton is a good person.
Again, with the other people. Millions
including
of people.
myself. If you want to do that, I'm not
put the questions
I'm not
in your
worried
own.
about.
Don't try to make it about some bozo who put up a website. Put in your own words.
Here's a question for you, Guy. It's a very simple question for you,
Guy.
So, how is it when you think about other candidates? Okay, everybody has a stereotype. You have a reputation, whether you like it or not. What's your reputation?
What I was going to say, you're not allowed to say on YouTube. But I think we all know what it is.
Your reputation is you like to text underage girls, and you like to talk to girls, and you sex sending pictures of your dangling. That's your reputation.
All right, I wasn't going to say it, but he did. Let's go, PBD. God damn. Let's see it in real time. One more.
Everybody has a stereotype. You have a reputation, whether you like it or not. What's your reputation? Your reputation is you like to text underage girls, and you like to talk to girls, and you sex sending pictures of your dangling. That's your reputation. Whatever you do, you can't do anything about it. Adam has a reputation. Adam is a playboy in Miami.
You better get back to that list of strangers you read a list of.
Oh, now he wants to get back to the list. Oh, man. Oh my goodness. Look at that face. What did you think was going to happen? Here? Last time, Mike says the last time PBD got this frustrated was with David Pacman because people on the left are full of shit. I mean, really, I don't know. I continue to try to find somebody other than Destiny to talk about on the left because I want to bring, a balanced conversation. But there's nobody besides Destiny who is at least reasonably logical. I mean, one more time. It was so beautiful.
Of your dangling, that's your rep girls, and you like to talk to girls, and you sex sending pictures of your dangling. That's your reputation. Whatever you do, you can't do anything about it. Adam has a reputation. Adam is a playboy in Miami.
You better get back to that list of strangers you read a list of.
I'm getting back to it. Tom's got a reputation. His reputation is a man who
and right now your reputation is listing strangers who served in the military and dragging their name.
I have a reputation to ask tough questions and piss some people like you off. That's my reputation.
Including dead people who I'm going to stand up for.
Oh, trust me, we are standing up for them more than you are standing up for them.
Let's see. You better get back to that list because we're going to clear some people's names today.
My question for you is, how is it that in the last 50 years we don't have a single candidate? Everybody has their own. Hey, John F. K. was a playboy with Marilyn Monroe. Trump, Karen McDougal, Stormy Daniels. You know, George Bush linked to 9/11 and weapons of mass destruction. Bill Clinton linked to Arkansas women, all this others. Everybody has a reputation. How is it that the reputation that follows them as people close to them die? Why is that a story that many people believe in? Why is that?
Are the Clintons?
That is a question. Gotcha, bitch. Holy shit.
In their 70s yet? You don't think I can make a list of other people who are 70-something years old and say this person died, that person died, this person died? Hold on.
How come they haven't done that with Bush? He's in the same age.
I have no freaking idea why they haven't.
Maybe because 46 people close to him haven't died in mysterious ways. I don't know. I haven't looked it up, but I would guess.
Haven't done that with Trump.
So are you saying, so you agree with what I'm saying?
How come they haven't done that with Reagan?
So
how come they haven't done that with Kerry?
What point are you making about these men and women who you listed?
How is it so many people close to them die? How is it so many people close to them?
Everybody dies.
How is
are you
it so
suggesting?
Many
Okay,
I'm asking the question.
You're asking a bizarre question.
Exactly.
Did people die? Did people die? No. What pisses me off, and I'm going to say this again because you apparently are not listening to me. You had a list of people off an obscure website of conspiracy theory, taking a Venn diagram of everyone that ever worked in the orbit of someone who served in public life for 50 years. And you listed them, including people in the military, including strangers you could not pull out of
including 12, not 10, 12 of their personal bodyguards.
And you are implying that there's something to fair. Let me finish my thought. Let me finish my thought.
Please do so, because I got another.
Let me finish my thought
here for you.
You're implying both with the question and with the website. The website says it explicitly. You're implying it. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
You're implying that something.
You are implying until he's done. Go for it.
You are implying that something nefarious is afoot, both with the question and with the list.
Yes. Yes, sir. We are. Are you going to respond to that? Or just be more sus?
Hillary Clinton, she's a big girl. I'm a big boy. You're a big boy. The people that you just listed.
They're all.
Listen to me. No, these are obscure people that you could not pull out.
Great politician, buddy.
Wait a hold on. Let me.
I told you. PBD said it in the same thing, that he's good at doing, being a politician. Listen to him.
Obscure people that you could not pull out.
Great politician, buddy.
Wait a hold on.
Fantastic.
You know what? You are.
Yeah, unwanted post. It's a bizarre question because it's a really freaking bizarre situation. Idiot.
Stupid.
You are the classic bully. You list someone's name. Are you going to go back and clarify? Are you going to go clarify?
You know what the
are you going to clarify this list?
Is. You
I don't
really
want
know that.
Ad hominem attack on me is going to somehow clear that person's name.
There isn't anybody at this table that's a bigger bully than you.
I tell you. Oh yeah, you just listed some stranger with
Very
PFC
good,
with
deceptive
PFC.
way of pinning. Good
Look
for
at
you guys.
You're reading some.
Good for you.
You're reading a conspiracy website.
Good for you.
Some people say. Some people say. Look at that fucking website.
Just sent to you. Pull up the Wikipedia. Is Wikipedia a conspiracy website?
You want to take?
No.
You want to take a run at me? Bring it all day, pal.
No, hey,
bring it all day.
Real quick, I just want to say, aren't you glad you tuned in tonight? Come on, are we having fun or what?
Sweetheart, Clinton body count.
Conspiracy theory, right at the top. Wait, can I throw a mic I can drop? Conspiracy, right at the top.
What's the point with that?
The point is conspiracy theories are by their very definition unsubstantiated.
How come other people don't?
Nope. We just did this, I think, 2 shows in a row. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that 9/11 did not at all happen. I'm not asking how, but if you don't believe that it happened. Nobody? Then you're all conspiracy theorists, because either you believe something along the lines of 19 Muslims conspired to fly planes into buildings, or you believe something along the lines of George W. Bush or whoever conspired to make it look like 19 Muslims hijacked planes and flew them into buildings. So to say, oh, it's a conspiracy theory, therefore, blah, 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 lest we forget that we spent the last 3 years living under a regime that made us second-class citizens, calling us conspiracy theories, only for us to be exactly 100% correct about everything. So excuse me if something being considered a conspiracy theory doesn't make it irrelevant to me anymore. Sorry. So Jerry Springer episode, maybe Maury level. Oh, lie detector has determined you are not the father. Oh my God! Hey! I mean, yeah, it's on that level. You says, holy moly, PBD is the boss. The boss. And I agree. Did he? I missed that. Oh, we're gonna have to go back. JH says 9/11 was the British.
What?
Well, then you're right in the group of conspiracy theories with the rest of us. I gotta hear the sweetheart though.
Wait, can I throw a mic I can drop? Conspiracy at the top.
What's the point with that?
The point is conspiracy
point
theories
with
are
that?
by their very definition unsubstantiated.
How come other people don't have this conspiracy theory? How come Reagan doesn't have this conspiracy theory?
Oh, wait a minute.
How
hold
come
it.
Bush doesn't have this conspiracy
Newsflash on
theory?
the PBD
How come
podcast.
John Kerry
People
doesn't
say
have this
shit about the
conspiracy
Clintons.
theory?
Oh, wow. Really?
Why do they, though? Some of the
Did I miss it? I'm not gonna go back further, but damn.
stereotypes are true. Like, you have some reputation. It's true, some of it. Some of the stuff they say about other people
That's
is
not
true.
a stereotype. That's a made-up story about strangers.
How come others don't have that made-up story?
People have it all the time. Look at the internet.
Give me another body count with
Name
another
one
president
person
or candidate. Give
Name
me
Do
another
you
one
person.
really think that someone
Pull up,
within the
do me a favor
do
and
you
pull up
really
another
think
Barack Obama body count.
Do you really think? Oh, you go. Why don't you go to Barack Obama, not born in this country? By the way, where was that podcast? Did you guys do that one?
No,
That's a good point. There needs to be an answer to that.
that's never anything
Why?
we discussed.
Oh, why? Oh, come on. Some people say it.
Anthony,
There's a
you're
there's a Wikipedia.
He's got a point. It's a silly point, but it's a point nonetheless.
Thing on it, huh? These people are strangers that you just read a list of, and I think out of deference to them,
You're a dark human
out
being,
of-
guy. You're
settle
pretty
down,
dark.
pal. Settle down.
No. You're
You
pretty
should cut
dark to
that
take
list
the
out.
angle you did. You're
You should
exactly.
listen to me. You're talking topless
yeah.
now.
Oh, okay.
Is Adam a lefty? I don't think Adam's a lefty, is he? Maybe he is. I just assumed that he wasn't because he, his podcast turned into, like fresh and fit type stuff. But
You should cut that list out of those
Sure,
people. We can still have the argument. You and
No,
I are big boys.
absolutely.
Cut that list
I'm
out.
not going to be cutting that list because the world
That's
needs
right.
Here's what everybody
Yeah,
needs
the
to-
world needs
you-
that poor person's family that you can't even name.
Exactly. That some people say, what does it matter now? They're
Some
dead.
people say.
What is
how can you at the same time say we need to respect their families, but then when you bring them up, what question PBD should be asking? Okay, what is the way that we can honor these families if we don't know who they are? Let's say I want to make a list of families that I want to honor.
What does it matter now?
Some
They're
people
dead. Can
say.
you play that clip
Famous
again?
podcast
Play
host
that
says
clip
some
again.
people say.
Play that clip again. What does it matter now? What
Play
does
the
it
clip.
matter
These
now?
people.
What does it matter
Change
now?
the subject all you want. Anyone who read that list
one's changing
is
the
still
subject.
waiting for you to come back
Do
to
you
that list and apologize
do you
to those
realize
people.
why some people
Apologize to
do
those
you
people.
realize why some people
You should
are-
apologize to those people.
Why do you keep saying?
And again, Adam is asking, why do you keep saying that? He keeps saying that because this is his only way to grandstand and have any leverage. Anybody who has half a brain sees what's going on here, but way too many people don't have half a brain, and they are falling victim to his grandstanding. JH says he's becoming more in alignment after doing the podcast, but early PBD was him as the other side in the room. Ah, interesting. Didn't know that. Thank you.
Saying that? What does he need
Because
to
those
apologize
people,
about?
listing those people on some obscure website as if something about their death was shrouded in some kind of a mystery dishonors
this
their
is-
memory. Now,
this is
if
fantastic.
you are Hillary Clinton or
Fantastic.
if you are Hillary Clinton or Anthony Weiner,
Amazing.
that sound fine. If you are some
Make it
person,
bigger,
if
please.
you are some person who has one of these jackasses on the internet showing up
Yeah.
at their doorstep
Yeah.
saying, "Tell me about the
Make
death
it
of your father.
bigger.
How did Hillary Clinton?" We had someone walk into a pizzeria in Washington with a gun because of
I've heard
assholes
that,
like
I've
this.
heard that phrase before by other people. Play it again.
Yep.
Play it again. I've heard this phrase
Oh,
a
by the
couple
way, what's
times.
the whole Benghazi? Let's do the whole Benghazi.
All
right.
No, it's the phrase.
The fact is, we had
No,
4
let's watch the
dead
Benghazi.
Americans. Was it
I'm
because
afraid.
of a protest, or was it because of
You got a
guys
good
out for a
script.
walk
You
one night and
disagree with
decided to
this?
go kill some
You
Americans?
disagree with her
Listen
point
to the
here?
script.
Difference at
Play
this
that again.
point
Play that
doesn't
three
You
times.
make-
disagree with this
Play
point?
that from the 10-second mark. Not from
Yeah.
that mark.
Play it from the 1 second mark so we really get
right
context.
there, right there. Go play it right
Play
there.
it from the 1/10
Go
of a
ahead.
kill some
second mark.
Americans. difference at this point does it make?
That's what you
Yeah,
sound
let's
like.
let's hear it.
What a script.
Let's
You're
hear it.
duplicating it very well.
Let's hear.
They just played it, and you were talking the whole time. Again, I will second PBD in saying this guy is a fantastic politician. He is very good at controlling a conversation that he should have no business having any sort of control.
You're
Let's hear it.
duplicating
By
that
the way,
script
do you
very
disagree
well.
with her point?
Of course I do.
You do?
Of course
that
I
it
do.
matters whether it's a protest that came
course
from Libya to that family.
Do you know-
to that family? And by the way, do you know why she cleaned the Republicans' clock in that hearing? Because she talked about how many
cleaned
times.
the clock? She
Yeah.
ain't a president, guy. That's cleaning the clock. The American people cleaned her clock.
No, in the Benghazi.
The American people clean her clock. Got him. Aisha says, need to take a moral high ground to use the left's tactic of suppressing speech. We've seen this a million times. Yep. You got it.
Benghazi hearing.
Yeah.
Focus.
Why do you think she's not a president?
Focus.
Why do you
The
think she's not a
Benghazi
president?
hearing. Focus.
The American people
You bring
cleaned
up
her
a
clock.
clip and then you want to change it to 2000.
No,
Let's talk about
yo,
that clip
what
for a
she did to
second.
the Republicans. So going back to it, here's what you're doing right now, which is fantastic. You just
Making you a lot of money.
influenced
You don't believe that, do
a
you?
lot of people to go do their own due diligence. You just influence a lot
Oh,
of
you
people
can
to go do their own
find
due
you can
diligence.
find
Go
utter
do it.
dirt. No, you did
Find
that,
out
pal.
for yourself. No,
I saw what you did by listing the conspiracy theories you're not going to ask about.
I'm not
I
gonna
saw
ask
what you
about
did.
I called it.
those things.
I'm sorry, that was
Yeah,
dishonorable.
that's which part's dishonorable.
The list of conspiracy theory you know is bullshit, but still putting
Yeah,
it out
but
there.
This thing, there's a lot of
I think
credibility sources
people
behind
want
this.
bullshit's not true. Look at what you had to cite.
I-
Cite any media that you would ever read in your day-to-day life for that. Cite
Yeah.
anything. Go call one of those
You
people.
still
Have
can't
one,
answer questions,
have
can
one of
you?
your producers. No, you make a point now. I'm responding to it. Have one of your producers call up one of those families and tell them if they want to be listed in one of these
Aw.
conspiracy
You're so sweet for saying that. You're so sweet for playing this deceptive game. I got to tell you from watching you for
Have
the
you
last.
do that?
I got to tell you.
I know
from
this is not what you're
the-
used to,
the-
man. I'm sorry. It's funny. I texted with someone, should I give them what they're used to or should I whatever? And they said, just whatever.
You know how I
Again, another perfect. You have to respect the game. Hate the player, but respect the game. That was a brilliant line. He's undercutting everything that is making him look bad. Not very well, but again, he's already in a very, very, very bad position, and you can only do what you can do. But exactly, Zippy, respond, but not answer. But also, he is undercutting all of this by making it seem like PBD is a bully, and he is, again, this firebrand that I had in my mind. He's trying to reinforce that idea in people's minds. Now, I'm not as dumb as I used to be. I'm not as naive as I used to be. So it's not going to work. But this is probably why I thought he was a very, I thought he was with it. I thought he was with it. And clearly not. But listen
So
to
do
this.
that.
I got to tell you.
I know
from,
this is not what
Yeah. So listen to what he does.
you're used to, man. I'm sorry. It's funny. I texted with someone, should I give them what they're used to or should I whatever? And they said, just whatever.
You know how
So he's like, yeah, I'm just in here, I'm acting cool, I'm doing my thing, and I know you guys are not used to it, and you're getting loud, it's all right. You're not used to somebody like me.
What?
Not gonna work on us, bruh. Not gonna work on us.
I
in
knew
the
who you
moment.
were the moment you walked here. You know how I knew who
You
you
don't
were
like
when
me
you
because I
walked in here?
disagree with you,
Let
man.
me tell you.
We
no,
have
no,
too much of this
No,
in
no, no.
pop.
Let me tell you.
He's calling him out. He's calling him out at that level. When somebody said, "Oh, I knew who you are," at the moment you got here, that means that you did or said something that showed me everything about yourself. And it was very easy to read because there's not much there. Unwanted Foe said, respect the game. Otherwise, your next job is a Clinton bodyguard. Oh, no. Good one. Good one. Good one.
You know how I knew who
You
you
don't
were
like
when
me
you
because I
walked in here?
disagree with you,
Let
man.
me tell you.
We
no,
have
no,
too much of this
No,
in
no,
pop.
no. Let me tell you
In-
who you are, guy.
Media-
Here's who you are.
this is-
Ooh, and throwing guy. I don't know. Maybe that's just a dude thing, but throwing a guy. Like, you're just a guy. You're just some random guy. Little things like this matter when you're in a conversation. Even if especially if you're the one employing them and you're not aware. But even more so if you are, in this type of situation. If you're in PBD's seat and you're seeing this guy who you should be able to very easily make him look bad, even if you're not trying to, which he definitely is trying to. He comes in, and the way that he's navigating this is just beautiful, just beautiful. Dan said, let's call up the family of JFK and see if they want the assassination footage aired again. What the hell kind of point is that? I agree. Yeah, and Zippy coming in with the same. Yeah. You know, I mean, the logic doesn't follow because there is no logic. It's not about logic. It's about what can I say that is going to allow me to continue treading water. That's what it is.
Because I disagree with you, man.
Let me tell you.
We have too much of this.
No. Let me tell you who you are, guy. Here's who you are.
This is good media. You're getting good content.
This is who you are. You walk up here and you said, "What's your name?"
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that.
No. You said, "What's your name?" And then you say, "I call my friends to say, should I give these guys this?" You know the name, you know the show, but you're
No. I was trying to find if you use your whole first name.
Like, hey, so it's like the player,
I apologize.
Like, what's your name? Because
I apologize.
You're above everybody else as an elitist.
I apologize.
You position yourself as an elitist.
I didn't know if you used.
And I was willing to give you a fair shake.
I apologize.
You walked up as an asshole.
No.
I
apologize. I apologize. I didn't know if you used the shortened version of your name. I should have researched that and listened to how other people
say that.
do it.
You said, "What's your name?"
I know, but to see if you would give me a hint about what you said.
And then
people do it with me when I do Tony or Anthony.
I got a good memory like you do, guy.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Well, sometimes people are trying to see if I go by Tony or Ant or Thony, so they ask me what my name is.
What?
Stop the cap. Ultimate Media said you don't need to try to make Anthony Weiner. Oh, look bad. Yes, agreed.
You said, "What's your name?" I said Patrick. Then you asked, "Do you prefer Pat or Patrick?" If you knew my name is Patrick, you would have eliminated one of the questions and you would have asked. So the
Gotcha, bitch. You lied and you failed. You tried, but you failed. Oh man.
Point is, and by the way,
I was hoping you'd identify yourself.
I identify
you're
myself
right.
as a male, as a father, as an entrepreneur.
I apologize.
Go back to your question.
I apologize. Do you accept my amends?
I love that. Oh man. I identify as a father, a businessman, and an entrepreneur, or whatever he said. Beautiful, beautiful. This is how you handle a bad faith discussion. This is how you handle a bad faith discussion. Do you think that these guys are going to shake hands and go to dinner after this? Of course not.
No.
But this is business. This is for us. And this man is handling this masterfully. And you know what? It's almost done. We're gonna, if there's anything else left to comment, I'm going to comment on it. And then there's parts that we got to see again because there's so much is going on.
I apologize.
Sure, I respect.
I apologize for that.
But the point I'm making to you is, if you come in like that and I'm asking you a question, you react.
You're reading too much into it. You're reading too much. I apologize for that. That was socially wrong of me to do. I was trying to learn whether you go by Pat or Patrick. I apologize. I could have asked one of your I could have asked people. I apologize for that.
Anthony,
and I hope you accept my amends for that.
So if you like them, they haven't done that with Bush.
You know what? Are you going to clarify this list?
Is. You want to really know that.
Ad hominem attack on me.
So I want to just kind of run through this, see if there's anything we missed, and then we'll come up on the other side. And maybe if we can find it, we'll watch Frizzle Drip in the after party, where the party never ends. Join the Discord. It is free.
Is going to somehow clear that person's name?
There isn't anybody at this table that's a bigger bully than you.
I tell you. Oh, yeah? You just listed some stranger with
Very
PFC.
good, deceptive way of pinning. Good
Look
for
at
you guys.
You're reading some.
Good for you.
You're reading a conspiracy website.
Good for you.
Some people say.
Yeah.
Some people say.
Pull up the Wikipedia
Look at that fucking
Rob
website.
I just sent to you. Pull up the Wikipedia. Is Wikipedia a conspiracy website?
You want to take?
No.
You want to take a run at me? Bring it all day, pal.
Hey,
bring it all day.
Sweetheart.
Take a run.
Clinton.
Oh, bring it all day, bro. You're getting demolished. Oh, you couldn't take this all day. You wouldn't walk straight, bro.
Body count.
Conspiracy theory, right at the top. Wait, can I throw a mic I can drop? Conspiracy, at the top.
What's the point with that?
The point is conspiracy theories are by their very definition unsubstantiated.
How come other people don't have this conspiracy theory? How come Reagan doesn't have this conspiracy theory?
Oh, wait a minute.
How come Bush doesn't have this conspiracy theory?
On the PBD podcast,
How come John Kerry
people
doesn't
say
have this
shit about the
conspiracy theory?
Clintons. Oh, wow, really?
Why do they, though? Some of the stereotypes are true. Like, you have some reputation. It's true, some of it. Some of the stuff they say about other people
That's
is
not
true.
a stereotype. That's a made-up story about strangers.
How come others don't have that made-up story?
People have it all the time. Look at the internet.
Give me another body count with another president or candidate. Give me
Do
another
you
person.
really think that someone within the
do me a favor
do
and
you
pull up
really
another
think
Barack Obama body count?
Do you really?
So this is where it was dumb enough of a point when he brought up the Obama birth certificate thing, but it would have been just the cherry on top if he was able to give a response as to why those are not the same thing.
You think? Oh, you want to go? Why don't you go to Barack Obama, not born in this country? By the way, where was that podcast? Did you guys do that one?
No, that's never anything we discussed.
Oh, why? Oh,
See, instead of just saying, no, we didn't. Obviously, he's trying to set a trap to act like this. So what you should be doing there is saying, no, because that's not this. Maybe, it might just be the fact that, no, we're not talking about dead people. We're talking about one person perpetuating a lie. We know where that lie came from or whatever. But there's going to be some number of people. I don't know how many. But there's going to be some number of people who hear that and will then accept everything that Anthony has said. Agreed.
oh, come on, some people say it.
Anthony,
there's a Wikipedia thing on it, huh? These people are strangers that you just read a list of, and I think, out of deference to them,
you're a dark human being, guy.
You're a dark human being.
Settle
Pretty
down,
dark.
pal. Settle down.
No. You're
You
pretty
should cut
dark to
that
take
list
the
out.
angle you did. You're
You should
exactly.
listen to me. You're talking topless now.
Oh, okay.
You should cut that list out of those
Sure,
people. We can still have
absolutely.
the argument. You and I are big boys.
Absolutely.
Cut that list
I'm
out.
not going to be cutting that list because the world
That's
needs.
right.
Here's what everybody
Yeah,
needs
the
to.
world needs that poor person's family that you can't even name.
Exactly. That some people
The Brown family for Ron Brown. No.
say, what does it matter now? They're
Some
dead.
people say.
What does it matter now?
Some
They're
people
dead. Can
say.
you play that clip again?
Famous podcast
Play
host
that
says
clip
some
again.
people say.
Play that clip again. What does it matter now? What does it matter
These
now?
people.
What does it matter
change
now?
the subject all you want. Anyone who read that list
one's
is
changing the
still
subject.
waiting for you to come back to that list and apologize.
Do you
to those
realize
people.
why some people?
Apologize to
Do
those
you
people.
realize why some people?
You should
are-
apologize to those people.
Why do you keep saying that? What does he
Because
need to
those
apologize
people,
about?
listing those people on some obscure website as if something about their death was shrouded in some kind of a mystery dishonors
this
their
is-
memory.
Again, a lot of people are going to pick up on this.
Now,
This is
if
fantastic.
you are Hillary Clinton or Anthony,
Fantastic.
if you are Hillary Clinton or Anthony,
And that's why. And PBD knows it. That's why he's, trying to undercut it by not cutting him off. But, oh, this is fantastic. What a performance. The Oscar goes to you. It's this passive aggressive. You can't always just go straight up. You're lying. That's bullshit. I mean, that does happen. But you can't always do that. And when you can't, you have to know how to get your digs in. Mel to My Media says, change the subject as he ducks the question for the 5th time. That's his strategy.
Anthony Weiner, that
Yeah.
may sound fine. If you are some
Make it
person,
bigger, please.
if you are some person who has one of these jackasses on the internet showing up
Yeah.
at their doorstep
Yeah.
saying, "Tell me about the
Make
death
it
of your father.
bigger.
How did Hillary Clinton?" We had someone walk into a pizzeria in Washington with a gun because of assholes like
I've
this.
heard that phrase before by other people. Play it again. Play it again. I've heard this phrase
Oh,
a
by the way,
couple
what's
times.
the whole Benghazi? Let's get the whole
With all
Benghazi.
due
No,
respect.
it's the
So
phrase.
first, he doesn't want to go to the clip. Like I said, a lot of people make jokes about the friends of Clinton dying. Yeah, that's exactly why we're talking about it. And that's exactly why this, anybody can make up anything about anything. I don't know. It's just the families and the families and the families and the dishonor. That's why that's all bullshit and grandstanding. Because it's not, it's a legitimate line of questioning. It's just that's as simple as it is. It's a legitimate line of questioning. You're uncomfortable with it. It's very clear you're uncomfortable with it, and you don't want to address why you're uncomfortable with it. And so you're making up this bullshit that's not flying, at least with us. But unfortunately, some people will buy.
The fact is, we had
let's
4
watch the
dead
Benghazi.
Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of
You got a
guys
good
out for a
script.
walk
You
one night and
disagree with
decided to
this?
go kill some
You
Americans?
disagree with her
Listen
point
to
here?
the script.
Different.
So talking the whole time, I believe they played this clip earlier in the podcast, so it's not like they didn't catch it, but talk through the whole thing.
At
Play
this
that again.
point,
Play that
does
Do you
three times.
disagree with this
Play
point?
that
So now PBD is saying, play it again.
from the 10-second mark. Not
And there it is. Play it from the 10-second mark. Weiner's politician brain goes, oh, from the 10-second mark. Why not from the? Why wouldn't you show the whole thing?
Yeah. Play it from the 1 second mark so we really get context.
Right there. Go play it right
Play
there.
it from the 1/10 of a
Some
second mark.
Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
That's what you
Yeah,
sound
let's
like.
let's hear it.
What a script.
Let's
You're
hear it.
Now let's hear it.
duplicating it very well.
Let's hear.
You're
Let's
duplicating
hear.
that
By the way,
script
do you
very well.
disagree with her point?
Of course I do.
You do?
Of course
that
I
it
do.
matters whether it was a protest that came
course
from Libya to that family.
Do you know
to that family? And by the way, do you know why she cleaned the Republicans' clock in that hearing? Because she talked about how many
cleaned
times
the clock? She
Yeah.
ain't a president, guy. That's cleaning the clock. The American people cleaned her clock.
No, in the Benghazi hearing.
Yeah.
Focus.
Why do you think she's not a president?
Focus.
Why do you
The
think she's not a
Benghazi
president?
hearing.
The
Focus.
American people
You bring
cleaned
up
her
a
clock.
clip and then you want to change it to 2000.
No,
Let's talk about that clip
what
for a
she did to
second.
the Republicans. So going back to it, here's what you're doing right now, which is fantastic. You just
You don't
influenced
believe that, do
a
you?
lot of people to go do their own due diligence.
That's the only saving grace with the fact that there is people who will take what Weiner is saying here and take it at face value. That for every person who watches this and takes Anthony Weiner's side, there's going to be 10 to 50 people who did what we did. Like, oh, what's Frazzle Drip? And now we know. And so as soon, I just want to finish this up and we heading over. And if I can find that, we are watching it. We are watching it. Unwanted Foe said, let's say the Clintons are innocent and this is all a coincidence. Okay. Are we supposed to seriously believe it's just a cursed family to be around? Well, again, to steelman what Anthony Weiner is saying is that you could any family that's been in public service for 50 years, you'll be able to create a list like this. Now, that's stupid because people haven't. And people have every reason to. So if you could, then we would. But that's his argument. Is that, well, it's just a list. It doesn't mean anything. And for all we know, he could be right. Probably not, but he could be right. But he has nothing to substantiate that it is, in fact, a random list. And if it is a random list, and he's getting really butthurt about it, like I said, if the Clintons see this, I want to make it clear. I don't believe you have killed anyone, and I am not. I would never self-delete. Thank you, Mike. I needed that. Me too. So, if the Clintons see this, I want to make it clear. I don't believe you have killed anyone, and I would never do that to myself. Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
You just influence a lot of people to go do their own due diligence.
You can find
Don't
utter
do it.
dirt. No, you did
Find
that,
out
pal.
for yourself. No,
I saw what you did by listing the conspiracy theories you're not going to ask about.
I'm not
I
going
saw
to
what
ask
you
about
did.
those things.
I'm sorry, that was
That was
dishonorable.
good. That was
which
good.
part's dishonorable?
The list of conspiracy theory you know is bullshit, but still putting
Yeah,
it out
but
there.
This thing, there's a lot of
I think
credibility sources
people
behind
want
this.
bullshit. It's not true. Look at what
Yeah.
you had to cite. Cite any media that you would ever read in your day-to-day life for that. Cite anything. Go call one of those
You
people.
still can't answer questions,
Have
can
one
you?
of your producers.
Nope.
No, you make a point now. I'm responding to it. Have one of your producers call up one of those families and tell them if they want to be listed in one of these conspiracy podcasts.
You're so sweet for saying that. You're so sweet for playing this deceptive game. I got to tell you from watching you for
Have
the
you
last.
do that?
I got to tell you.
I know this is not what you're used to, my man. I'm sorry. It's funny. I
All
texted
right,
someone.
all
Should
right,
I
all
give them what they?
Yeah, and you're just saying cite any media that's in our pockets, and there you go. So like I said, I was blown away that Anthony Weiner is still a name that would be on any podcast anywhere. Like, hey, if you wanted to come on here, I would certainly, I would accept that. But the fact that he's on PBD, I didn't watch the whole thing, so I don't know what exactly he is promoting. I'm sure he's there promoting something, a book, running for this, running for that. I don't know what it is, but I'm certainly not buying. And we can see that the cope is strong. And when it comes to stuff like this, we have to remember that it's not just about like, oh, that happened. Oh, that guy said that thing. We have to remember that while over here, we're sitting and laughing and pointing these things out, there's way, 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 way bigger groups of people who are looking, again, not to create better conversations, but to further obfuscate the realities that we think we live in, so that they can continue to push the ideology and just the truth, the reality that they want, which doesn't comport with actual reality. So if we don't point this out, people are just going to fall for it. Especially when you stand for absolutely nothing, you will fall for anything. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. I really do appreciate it. Big shout out to Cerebrus. Big shout out to Unwanted Foe. And of course, a big shout out to the sponsor of the stream, Xander Crew. Thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate you. You know that there is nothing that is bigger in my heart than you guys, this channel, what we do here. I can't tell you enough. It means so much that you guys spend your time here with me. And, especially those of you who are able to contribute. It is, it's the only way that I can keep doing this. And it's the only way that we can stop people like Anthony Weiner from getting his wiener all over the culture. I mean, the fact that he's been out of the limelight for the last however many years has been a good thing. So if he's trying to enter back in, I want to do whatever I can to highlight exactly why he should not be listened to. And I can't do that alone. So with your guys' help, it is much, much easier. Thank you so much. Don't forget, the Discord is free to join. That's where the party never ends. We are in there 24/7 hanging out, playing games, having conversations. And after every single live stream, we go in there for the after panel. We're about to do that right now. So go join. It is free to join. And if you're not familiar with Discord, don't worry. We will walk you through it. It's very simple. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Tibby said, great time. Have a good one. You as well. Thank you so much. I want to give you a reminder, guys, that next week, this is going to be the last 8 p.m. Stream until the following Monday. So this coming Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern. That Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Next Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. And then after that, we're going back to 8 p.m. So just for next week, instead of 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern. Don't worry, I will be obnoxious in reminding you, but make sure you are here for the party. I'm trying to see if, maybe we can get some more people, knowing that the, a lot of the big shows, Timcast, all those kinds of shows are at 8 p.m. Eastern. So maybe if we switch the time a little bit, we could rage on a little bit harder and, of course, a little bit longer, because then we have more time for the after party. So until then, guys, thank you so much. Once again, I have been your host, Lutch, a.k.a. the Indian Jesus. This is Morty, and he appreciates your treat. But thank you so much. I have been your host, Lutch, a.k.a. the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, I am out of here. Peace.